All right. 1, 2, 3, and to the 4. What's up? What's up? What's up? Greetings, folks. Greetings. Let me hit my email really quick. Get my email really fast. And, and the way that goes, close that. And we're back. What's up, folks? I know you guys, a lot of you guys just talked to me, so greetings, greetings, greetings. 11 watching, hit the like button on your way in. And there's a link to Grinch's book, The Ratchet's Rouge. Support the channel if you can. Dig deep. No, it's the end of the month. The end of the month or beginning of the month, depending on how you guys get paid. So there should be a few coins available. Yeah, yeah. He's held a B for a long time. He's still holding it. But it's not that I hate him. He always goes sideways on me. So I don't know him enough to hate. There's very few people I actually hate. You have to know. Only people I really hate is people that I know personally. So I don't. I save my hatred for special people. He's not special enough for me to hate. Dislike maybe. More like he irritates me. Yeah, well, hey, I said we can meet. I said we can meet. Ulysses, but it's not the first time he's gone sideways on me. So basically, I've been avoiding him. If he's on the panel, I go. I don't jump on. If he's in a chat, I jump off. When I'm in a chat, man, he comes at me sideways in the chat. And if he really wanted to get at me, hell, I'm on. He started with my hangout, so I'm in the same place every Saturday. The thing is, a lot of these cats, man, are fucking cowards because if they really wanted to talk to me one on one, I'm in the same city. If he really wanted to meet up, he really wanted to square off and get it done, he could get it done. So I don't know what his problem is. Yeah, yeah, he's been doing that, man, low key, and he'll wait till he gets on. I'm on somebody else's panel, and then he'll jump in. Because I thought we had it squashed because we did have a behind the scenes chat. Thought we had it squashed. But it reminds me of, like I said, I told him, it reminds me of an old girlfriend, man. Just won't let it die. Nah, he's still pissed off because I checked him about jumping on Angry Man's panel without any facts, and that's where he went left. So he's constantly digging, trying to dig up stuff to actually argue about. But the rest of the Black Brain Trust, we're cool. Hey, Rice, what's going on? So, what do you guys want to talk about? Let me ask you a question, Adrian. Um, did I jump on him when he first got on? Because I don't think I did. Because I don't think I jumped on him. I probably have to listen to the playback because he tried to do the same thing when I was on Game Changers Hangout. Well, Game Changers thing because we had that debate, and when they opened it up, the first thing he did, who he was in the chat going ham, and then when he got on, he started going ham. I didn't see the Democratic debates. I didn't see him. I don't do domestic politics the way I used to, so I didn't see him. So, so what do you guys want to talk about? The 30 trillion of reparations. Hey, China White. I've seen you elsewhere, China White. I just can't remember where. Let's get reparations to Congress before you start talking about the in front of the jury before you talk about the amount. We haven't even got the case in front of the jury yet. If we let them get past 2020, we probably never will get there. The Democrats are just scared right now. So anything else you guys want to talk about? Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been on Grinch's channel. Well, both of them have been on both of them. So so what brings you here, China White? Because there's a lot of guys in the manosphere that said I shouldn't have this channel. Yeah, you probably should. But most of the people that know Grinch probably know this channel already. That's true. Yeah, it is a woman's channel. You wouldn't think so, but it is a woman's channel. It's here for women to speak their mind, and they really do. Sometimes I have to roll my eyes and sit back and say, "Oh, here we go again." Okay, but it's their channel. They can talk about what they want to talk about. Well, I find out. Yeah, I think one guy in the mix, one or two guys in the mix, does kind of give women something to play off of. You need that. You need that. You need that little bit of logic to kind of keep things going. Yeah, that's probably is. You know what? Because they always mentioned how many subs I got, and I don't think I've changed. Well, to me, I don't think I've changed since I had less than 100 subs on here. Still think I'm the same person. I listen to some of my old stuff. In fact, I think I'm probably less radical than I was back when I had. I think I was probably more polarizing when I had less subs. Yeah, well, hey, you better do it before the Grinch gets on. A lot of times, the stuff turns into, we started with one topic, and the women kind of take it in a whole different direction. Like, like we did, like especially last few weeks, colorism, and then before that is about pregnancy and child support and that kind of stuff, which is something that you wouldn't think women would bring up, but they brought it up, and we rolled with it. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, all I want is the truth. That's saying, that's all I want is the truth. Because a lot of times, women get in public, they want to give you bullshit answers, and they know it's bullshit, instead of giving you real answers. I don't know. Well, I don't know why they hit on ARC either. You know what? Everybody says we don't want to do another panel on colorism, but so I try to stop it in the middle, and then somebody come in and pick it right back up. So I learned that with the men's channel. Sometimes you can't stop it. You try to do it like an hour or so and cut it off. And then another woman, because they didn't have their say, they'll come right back in and have their say, and they'll start right back up. You cut it off, and somebody else that didn't have their say come right back and start back. Say, okay, this is what we're talking about. So you just have to roll with it. Yeah, Brightburn is really, yeah, it's very dark. It's a very dark film. Brightburn is a very dark film. I think that's probably, well, as far as for, one of the darker films as far as that, as far as horror, since say maybe the Omen kind of reminds me of the Omen about witchy women. Why would Brightburn Part Two be about a witchy woman? Yeah, it did remind me of the Omen. Yeah. Oh, it's precious. Now, Brightburn is not a saga. It's a horror film. It's just done with like a superhero with like a superhero uh, themes, but it's a horror film. A witchy woman supposed to be the Dark Wonder Woman. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, but Brightburn reminded me of the Omen. Little things would just start happening, and you could see it escalating until to the end where the kid fully evolved. Yeah, there's an alternative universe in DC, but I think this movie was actually hidden horror. I would ask Rice what she's drinking, but I know she can't drink right now. Ultraman, okay. Because the original comic books were actually horror comics, and they actually with a lot of blood and guts, and they actually banned them. And so when they banned them, that's when you see the rise of the superhero comics. Lando, what's up? Support the channel if you can. Oh, the Anti-Justice League. Okay. Yeah, Artisan did mention something about the Anti-Justice League. It's like herding cats, Char. Yeah, yeah, I saw the car scene. Well, they didn't spare any blood and gore. They made it pretty graphic. Oh, I appreciate it, Lando. No, if you understand, if you've been on, we always usually have one male guest. So we always have usually have one guy. So he's the male guest for the night. Lex Luger was a good guy in Brightburn. Lex Luthor. Okay. Yeah, but Brightburn kind of reminded me of the Omen. All the with the ship talking to him. That reminds me of the devil's whether the Satan spawn actually talking to Damien. Aquateki, what's up? But the women usually like horror, so I think a lot of women, a lot of females will probably be attracted to Brightburn rather than the normal Superman comics or the normal superhero movies. So what else you guys want to talk about? Well, hey Rice, I did another black pill. What did you think? And somebody asked me, "Hey, Stella Rise, what's going on?" Somebody asked me, "What is the female equivalent of a black pill male?" So, is there a female equivalent of Batman and the Joker? Yeah, the new Spider-Man ought to be pretty dope. Yeah, they are cheap to make. Yeah, well, the thing is, they already kind of give the intro, so we building on the same thing because the intro actually described what the black pill actually is. I actually could have chopped the movie up a little bit more and actually walked you through about uh, how they built up Harvey Dent as a hero or as an item, and how society actually looked at him as a white knight. The lady in the picture is actually a drawing by a guy in South Africa. So I like his art. So I use his art all over the place. So I don't know who she is, but I always like his art. He's got a couple more. Yeah, somebody asked me what is the who's the female version of Batman or a Batman like a bat pill character, a black pill character. No, no, order out of chaos. Order creates the order is actually created out of chaos. No, order out of chaos. The original state of the world is chaos, and we have to build order into it. We make order. Art, what's up? Also, post your channel, Char. Char's always if you need any advice from a sane woman, always go to Char's channel and write to Char, and especially why there's no line, there's no waiting. You'll probably get on. You'll probably have a video up about your situation. Raven from Teen Titans is Bat Pill. Okay. Yeah, the last piece I'm gonna do on the Black Pill it'll probably be the Matrix. Actually bring it full circle and show you how Neo transitioned from red to black, in my opinion. Hit the like button and support the channel. Hey, Art, I'm trying to get Dr. Johnson to actually come on because he draws too. So I'm trying to get him to join you guys on Tuesday. Well, Robin has to be a hero because it's about Teen Titans. The rabbit hole goes deeper than the even the architect, because the Matrix depends on the rules, and outside the Matrix, there is no rules. So basically, what Neo transitioned into a world without rules. What is the Black Order? The Black Order is the group around Angry Man and in the Manosphere. Called that the Black Order. The Black Order actually came from the Marvel universe. Thanos's assistants were called the Black Order. Why pill and not lens? Because the pills, the red, blue, and black were actually um, borrowed from the Matrix. The red and the blue pill. I thought that would be obvious, Stellar Eyes. Black Order unite. No, but that's not an open discussion. Black Gnostic Speaks. My call sign is Black Gnostic. And my old channel used to be Black Gnostic Speaks. So when I changed it to IBMOR, so I just use the initials BGS. Well, then if you don't know the trilogy, Stellar Eyes, I wouldn't be talking to you. Because it's toward the manosphere. People in the manosphere knows what the red and blue pills are. Everybody in the manosphere knows what the red and blue pills are. Everybody knows it. Everybody in the manosphere knows the Matrix. Let me ask you something, Stellar Eyes. How come women are always trying to rename black women are always trying to rename something? You have to accept it the way I give it to you. How come you're trying to rename something? Good God Body Jones. God Body Jones. Why don't you, since we're talking Gnostic, why don't you get the email Char and come on? And we can discuss religion before we get started. We still have half an hour. Like we'll be renaming Kenny. Yeah, Kenny Bud. Yep. Okay. You're a man called Stellar Eyes? Really? Stellar Eyes is a really? Come on. That doesn't sound like a manly call sign. Well, why are you just no, you can't back out of it that quickly. You asked a question, step right up. You asked me a religious question, but you're not religious. Why? Yeah, the name does sound a little female. There's my scientist. What's going on? Man, there's all kind of articles, Nicole, about global warming and what it's doing to California. So that's probably why they're spraying like crazy. You're doing these chemtrails like crazy over California. No, I'm saying he's trans. What I'm saying is it's just that that's not normal for a guy to name himself something that could be. It's not the most masculine name for a guy. Stellar eyes. And most guys know. Most guys in the manosphere know what the pills are. Yeah, she's the queen of science. Yep, she's our scientist. We claimed her. Uh, so there's no getting back. Any place she goes, she's gonna be our scientist. Nope, nope, nope. Good God body, email, come on up. We're not gonna jump on him for his name. If he says he's a guy, he's a guy. He can explain why he uses the name Stellar Eyes, and then come on in a women's chat with the name Stellar Eyes, and then say I'm a guy. God buddy, get in the email, hit the link, and come on up. Yeah, normally, yeah, when we see eyes or something like that, that's normally a woman. A woman actually put in eyes or something like that. That's not normally a guy. AL, you're not going to get a link. Uh, well, if Char's going to give you a link, she's going to give you a link. Normally, just one guy. He's a girly man. I don't know. Does Stellar Eye sound like a guy's name to you, ladies? I mean, Alexis, they look like a Buick. No, I didn't say that. So what? So what? So where do you get the name Stellar Eyes from? Because that's normally how women describe themselves. Instead of defending yourself, where do you get the name Stellar Eyes from? Let's start with that. Yeah, everybody thought Stellar was a woman. And then a lot of people, a lot of women will get called out, and then I'll say I'm a guy. Stellar got a groove back. You ain't shit, Rice. Look like a man. I heard that. Do you know that even that answer sounds like a woman? There's nothing. There's nothing there's nothing about your conversation that sounds masculine. No, it's nothing. There's nothing about his description of the name that sounds masculine. But if you say you're a guy, I'll take your word for it. But hey, Miss Denny, what's going on? Miss Denny? What did you think about the Yahoo post? That's gonna cause a disturbance in the force. Some B1 in you, bro. Y'all ain't shit. No, no, they've already a flash to take on 28. You talking about AMD? They already did. The Navis are supposed to come out with one that actually rivals the 2080. In fact, the one they just came out with that's above the 2070. But they do have one that should rival or actually surpass the 2080. But there was a piece that Adrian sent me a piece that from the Wall Street Journal. They were saying the same thing I said about AMD. Yeah, yeah. I thought it was interesting that it would come up because come up on mainstream. Let me ask you a question. They say that the young lady's black? Did that young lady look black to you? I mean, she could be ambiguous, but yeah, I can't imagine her having two black parents. Yeah, they said that 3950 is a beast, man. They said they clocked that 3950, man, at 5.2 gigs. So that bad boy's a beast. Except 16 threads is a little much for me. I think I'll get the 12 thread, the 12 core. The 16 is a little overkill for me. I think if you go to the 3950, you probably have to get a new board because it probably will kill your old board. I still have a 3 series board. I got a 370X, even though it's an Asus 370X, but even though it's a high velocity gaming board, but I don't think it's going to handle that 3950. I think that's a little overkill. I think as high as I'm going to go is the 12 core. Nah, I ain't gonna go that hard. I don't really need a 16 core, man. What I do with it? You probably have more use for it than I do. You don't need a 16 core to download Hangouts, God buddy. Where you at anyway, God buddy? She sent you the link. No, I'm not where you are physically. I'm talking about you're supposed to be up here and asking a question. We only got 10 minutes anyway. Yeah, well, yeah, you can because um, when you get to 16 cores, you're going to draw more wattage. And if your board can't handle it, you're going to have, it's going to either clock down or you're going to have or you're going to have shutdowns. So stability is probably more important to me. I think 12 core is probably as much as I need. Heck, the 8 core that I have, 16 threads for the stuff I do, the most I actually use is like 80%. That's when it's rendering. The software won't go up to 100%. 80%, and they just redid the software, so 80% is about as high as I can get it. Aquatechie. So they come out with that, when they have that 32 core, and they have that 32 core Aquatechie, you're gonna get it. You're gonna do you're gonna test it for us. Yeah, that's as high as it goes. Oh, that's true because because it's more for servers. But I think you have to have more expensive boards for the epics. I might do that video on IBM, AMD, and the Chinese. It's an interesting story since the Wall Street Journal just did a story on it, on AMD and the Chinese. So what you drinking tonight? Rice? Drinking wine? Yeah, we have a couple of Aquatechie. We have Craig, the tech guy, because he's been doing a lot of things. Lately, he's been doing a lot of things on the PS. I think it's PS5 getting ready to come out. He's been doing a lot of stories on I think it's PS5. One thing I'm waiting is for the Halo's Master Series that should come out on PC. Water and ice. Oh, this baby gonna make you miserable, Rice. This baby's gonna make you miserable. The baby's putting rice on the wagon. So Rice is gonna be clean and sober by the time this baby gets here. Rice will be able to give blood and everything. Yeah, I like shooters, man. I've been playing shooters since when I started playing shooters, 92. I think 92 or 93 with Doom. No, it was actually before Doom. It was uh, uh, Castle Wolfenstein. Is the first one. No, it's Castle Wolfenstein was actually before Doom. Pink Moscato. Yeah, it's Castle Wolfenstein. Yeah, I played Descent. Descent was okay. You play Descent though, man. It can give you motion sickness trying to play Descent though. I've never been on. I played Call of Duty, but I've never done any. Never done any maps. But I played Halo, and then what did I play? I played. Forget what I'm trying to remember what the name of the game is. No, I haven't seen. I haven't heard anything. Oh, that's been a while since I heard from Ali Emmett. What about Stalker BGS? I don't get Stalker. I haven't tried Doom 2016. I played Duke Nukem. I played the original Doom. I haven't tried Doom 2016. I played Call of Duty. I played was it Medal of Honor? Yeah, Medal of Honor. I don't remember Stalker. I remember Wolfenstein. That's the first one I saw. I think I do have. I think I have. No, you're right. I do have Doom. I have Doom on the through Steam. I played it a little bit. Where they're on Mars. And we get started. Don't wait on him. He's not coming. He says God body Jones but he's not religious. And then he asked me a question about God, but I'm not religious. I'm only 22. And if somebody wants to have a religious conversation with a Gnostic, they're perfectly welcome. Most Christians don't want to have a conversation with a Gnostic about religion. I used to. I've had many of was it Jehovah's Witnesses tell me to have a nice day. You have a nice day. It used to be funny. They ask me some questions, and start answering them, and then I start asking them questions, and they tell me after about a couple of minutes, "You have a nice day." That was funny. That's funny as hell. But at least they're not. They're more polite than Christians. Christians actually burn rubber as they're on the way out. And don't let me find the my book. Uh, what I think it was called Egypt, light of the world, right? In the back, they have like was it like 300 parallels between Christ and Haru, and uh, and I had a Jehovah Witness at work. He kept bugging me and bugging me, bugging me, right? So because I'm a Gnostic, he kept asking me questions. So finally, I got the I brought the book in, and he kept telling me, "Bring the book, bring the book." So I brought the book in. I showed him the last part of the book about the 300 parallels between Haru and Jesus Christ. And he sat down and he read it for like 10 minutes. He gave back. He said, "That's an interesting book." And then we stopped talking about religion from then on.
People always run when I ask them questions, so seem to be
They,
the key.
well, they never see you coming though, Char.
Oh,
they
okay.
they think you're a mark, and then they, oh, here's a sheep. We can fleece her, and you turn out to be a wolf. I say, oh crap. Sorry, Mrs. Wolf. what, what lovely teeth you have, Grandma. And Charles says, the better to eat you with. You have a nice day, Grandma. Leave the basket. Yes, ma'am. Oh.
Aw. Greetings, everyone. Hit the like button, please. Got half the likes of the number of people watching.
Mm-hmm.
At least on my end, it says.
We should have a carryover because I did a short impromptu on the IBMOR channel.
Yeah, I was busy. I didn't get a chance to see anything.
No, I was just talking about Panda Bear and a couple of other people, and then talk about the reparations, and that was about it.
Oh, okay.
And I had to give them, the 5-minute warning because they were just getting wound up. I said, all right, you guys, you had your hour. Come on now.
All right, get them likes up. Keep it going. Keep it going. Grinch should be here shortly. I'm gonna give him the link in Discord. I emailed it to him, but
yeah, we call him. It's actually Pander Bear, but yeah, but that's code. We're supposed to. I addressed him earlier, so we said we're not going to use his name anymore. Which I was never really a fan of the crew, but I used to go over there and support. Meow. How the West Side go? I know you've been over there.
hey, cat.
She might be on the call. She might be handling the candygram right now.
Oh.
Summertime.
Who you
Summertime
talking
weekend.
to?
Uh-oh.
Huh? So what? So what?
I said, who you talking about?
You, Miss West Bank.
I ain't been in the West Bank.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. I was looking for that clip from the Saints when right after Katrina when they said "we it." I've been looking for that. I can't find it nowhere.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. It might not exist anymore.
You could probably find the clip of Coach Payton threatening to beat up one of the officials.
Oh yeah, there's tons of clips of that.
A gumbogram. Oh,
a gumbogram.
Oh no.
Gumbogram or a po' boy. A po' boy.
Nice twist.
With that sauce, get her a sausage po' boy, probably.
All right, that's
so how's the bag coming?
I don't know.
Okay, we gonna
think I hit a snag.
You hit a snag. We shipping you to Austin. So you can hang out with Neon. Neon went right in, got her numbers, snagged her a dude just like that. Boom, boom, boom. Like, was it? It wasn't even. Was it a month?
I don't even think it was an entire month.
It was an entire month. I said she came in. She followed. See, I like Neon. See, Neon followed directions. She didn't like doing it, but she came in. I don't care. Collect those cards and separate out the ones that you're interested in. She did that. Boom. She got a high value dude just like that. Gotta, you can't find them when get them when they all together. So it doesn't matter who you pick. I like him. He ain't broke. He's smart. He's got education. He ain't broke. He's a techie. Boom. Pick from the crowd. Every fisherman. That's what I teach guys. You fish where the fishing is good. You get a type. Every dude knows where a certain type of chick's gonna be. You want a certain type of chick, you don't meet her at random. You go where she gonna be. Like, there's certain malls that say if I wanted to meet Tony, I wouldn't be at the Compton swap meet.
No. Oh no, I like my life.
Yeah. So you gotta, depending on where you operated at, you have to go down to like the Orange Coast Mall or something like that, or
Century Plaza and Century City.
Century City, or where's that? What on 6th and what's that? The Beverly Center.
Beverly Center.
Yep.
I'll be even at the Grove.
Yeah, the Grove. Yeah. Or maybe in Universal City, maybe.
Universal City Walk. Yep. That's
City Walk or Westwood, depends. What.
Larchmont.
Yep. See, so you got to know where they're at. So you have to go where they're plentiful.
Good evening, everybody. I was going to try to do this from my patio, but I think it's too loud out there. But it's just one of those warm Cali nights.
Yes, it is.
I was sipping on my sangria, and I'm feeling great. But I did want to address Grinch now that he's on the panel.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, good evening, Grinch. Congratulations on your book tour, first of all, but just on the accomplishment of writing the book. I'm going to get it tomorrow. It's probably going to show up at the doorstep at some point. But I also wanted to acknowledge the what's gone on recently in the manosphere. I want to say that I'm glad that there is a division and an eviction on this platform we called Manosphere.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to say that at some point I thought that women should be invited to these platforms in the Manosphere. I didn't think we ever had a place or a voice. So with the division and the eviction, I'm glad about that because it shows those lines that have been drawn in the sand, and I'm glad that it's been said. It's been horrible actually to even listen when I first started listening. So I'm happy about that. If he's extricated, if he's evicted, if he's gone, it's a good thing. And I have been hearing more productive talk. Even the most recent live that you did earlier this afternoon, BGS. It's very refreshing to know that there is a division.
Yeah, certain content creators had to decide whether money and views was worth what they were actually had to go through.
Yeah.
And so I know that we cleaned out a lot of anti-male females, and the thing is a lot of content creators that depend on that opposition didn't have any place to go. So they saw some potential opposition had to keep the thing going, so they pounced on it, and I let an element in that I don't think should have been let in, but it is what it is.
Well, I really immediately heard the conversation shift You know, it was an immediate shift when you can focus on more productive talk amongst men. And that's what we women are looking for. We're looking for men that are productive thinkers. You're forward thinking. There's solutions to the problems instead of just talking in circles. There are those distractors and disruptive people out there that just, you know, he had the name Honest to believe, you know, to be honest, if you think about it, his name was exactly what he did everywhere he went. So just back to business, back to square one. And I think that we can all benefit from this now.
Yeah, because the stuff that they actually put out there was far more detrimental than we actually put on the air. Because Suge put out a lot of stuff, and we didn't even talk about half the stuff that he put out because we didn't think it was productive. So basically, we pretty much let them go with their dignity.
Right.
You know, if they really wanted to raise, they really can't raise hell because Grinch and Angry Man could have actually really done some damage as far as their reputation, but they pretty much let them go with their dignity. In other words, you know, we letting you off. You know, good luck to you. Go make your money. But we're gonna kind of let you off, and basically that would have been it, except they went after my man, and I said, you know, regardless of what it is, I said, as far as the Black Order is concerned, you come for one, you come for us all, and they didn't think that shit was real until we did it.
Well, that's amazing, and it's refreshing, and here we go.
Here we
On
go.
to
Yeah.
more productive things.
Yeah. Yeah. Like one question I want to ask about you know, for the ladies that have read the book, because I think that what Rom said about his book, Nice Guys and Players, Rom says there's quite a few women that actually buy that book. You know, so I'm looking at the Grinch's book, which is actually probably written for men. But the thing is, I have a feeling that the way it's written and what's in it is going to be far more interesting to women.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
definitely.
like.
Go ahead, Rice.
Hey, hey, Grinch. Yeah, I really love the book, and I really love the book because it kind of tied into a lot of things I was dealing with when it came to a lot of the ratchets. And when he broke each chapter down, I was like, damn, this shit make a lot of fucking sense. And I was just like, wow, you know, there was a lot of good information in there that I didn't even know of. I didn't even know existed as far as my history, or as far as history. And I was like, damn, man, this shit is crazy. So I really love the book. You really did in my opinion, you did a great job.
Yeah,
I
you know,
appreciate that.
yeah,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
you could tell there's a lot of lived experience in that book because a lot of that stuff couldn't be written unless you actually dealt with this stuff firsthand. It's not something you can get from secondhand.
Right. Right, for
Well, I
sure.
can't wait to get it. I'm getting it tomorrow, so it'll be my first summer read.
Yeah, you'll recognize a lot of characters in that book. I can tell you,
Yeah,
there's a
very
lot
clever.
of characters in that book.
Yeah, I just finished it yesterday. Very excellent book, Grinch. I really liked it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate y'all, man.
So, you know, I have a feeling a lot of women will be buying that book and identifying, like reading the book and looking at you know, some of their friends look like cross-eyed. You suspect.
Yeah,
I've
I'm still
actually been
reading, but it's still
yeah,
great.
I've been
But
looking
I
at a
have
lot
read
of
it.
women cross, you know, side eye just from hearing everything that, you know, the men have been saying in the manosphere since I started listening. I've been looking at every chick. I mean, I see everything that they talk about in every aspect of my life. I can't even speak in my office. I got transferred to another office, and we're kind of like in a fishbowl now. So it's an open air office, but everybody has their little cubicles. I can't even let them know that I'm like a feminine woman because they're all feminist.
Oh, really?
And I feel so suffocated. I feel, you know, muted. I can't say what's really on my mind about anything. So it's a horrible feeling, you know, actually, just to be around other women that you have nothing in common with. And I was in Kendra's chat room earlier, and I just said that I've been so isolated. It's been so lonely. I mean, it's been paralyzingly lonely. And I think, well, I know that it's worth it. But just realizing what's been going on all my life, how I was raised, coming to that realization, and then just really making a conscious decision to separate myself. It's really lonely. It really is.
Yeah, you're going against the grain.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard. Well, it's harder for a woman to go against the grain than a man. A lot harder. A man can actually be out there by himself, and it actually keep to himself is a little easier than it is for a woman. Woman actually needs a group, so it's hard for a woman to actually be out there by herself. Go ahead.
I was going to say what I like to do is go ahead and start with Grinch to introduce himself in the book, and then we can speak about something like that later. I don't mind. Welcome, Grinch.
All right. Well, y'all know what it is, man. It's Grinch, man, also known as the Hen Tipper, Gorilla Strike Killer, the Kraken, the Manosphere's Gladiator, etc., etc. The book is called The Ratchet's Rouge, a brother's analysis on the modern Black American Jezebel. And basically, I talk about the dynamics between men and women in the Black community. And I talk about, I take references from the biblical reference of the character Jezebel. And I also pull from that same terminology, which was from the Bible, from the plantation, the social context of the word. And I kind of explain, I kind of tie in the similarities between the characters. I go into how the Ratchet is created. It's a book too, brothers, but there's a chapter in there dedicated solely to the sisters. And the second half of the book is really for everybody. It goes into the basically the most common types of ratchets that you'll meet. And so the beginning of the book tells you how like the ratchet is created, the characteristics, the environment that creates that, the relationship between the Black gynocracy and the white supremacist power structure. And then the first half of the book ends with telling the historical tale that never gets told. I pulled from the Library of Congress. I pulled from some of the stuff that BGS has recommended, such as Daughters of the Trade, and I was able to tie it all together and package it up in this book to hopefully help improve the dynamics between men and women. Not this isn't just for men to be able to see this and use this as like a field guide to deal with ratchets or to understand who they're dealing with, but it's also a guide for women. I've had women call me after they read this, some of them crying because they think because they see some of this thing, some of the characteristics in ourselves, or in themselves, but really all of us are touched a little bit by these characteristics because it's a conditioned behavior that's been passed down for generations, and it's just become accepted as the norm because because of our history. So it's just about helping the people, thinking Black men and our supporters.
So since we're on a ladies panel, what is the you said there's been women calling you crying. What is the most common thing that they say?
Well, I've had several women call me, like even women that know me, call my phone, and I've got a wide variety of reactions from, crying, tears running down their face, and then I've had the visceral reactions like, the angry, you don't know shit,
The strags weighing in.
The drag calling in, so I mean, but the common reaction that I've had from the women, the most common reaction is, they'll call me up about the book and they'll ask about like a particular chapter, or they'll just ask me straight out, Like, am I, this character in the book?
Oh, okay.
They'll ask me. Some of them ask me straight out. Other ones kind of want me to they'll ask me, but indirectly. Like they'll ask me if I have certain characteristics about them. Other ones would be like, "Do you think I'm a scrag?" Like those. Yeah. So it's kind of like that. But the thing is, the book is a self-improvement book when you really look at it, because if you're able to take this information, this knowledge, and digest it and apply it to your life, then it's a choice. Because the majority of the women out here who act this way, they're not strags yet. A strag is an irredeemable ratchet, somebody who's doubled down on their dysfunction to the point where there's, to the point of no return, which means any other situation that they get into with another man or with another group, like they've dedicated themselves to, continuing to perpetuate dysfunction by living in their own illusion, because the reality is too harsh to deal with on the daily. So it's been I think it's been mostly positive. Like, people, even if they call me crying, like, it's not like they're not learning anything. Like, I really thought it was going to be more of the visceral reactions, like just the angry, rah rah rah. But really, it's been some, I'm surprised at how much self-reflecting that has been done because of this book.
Oh, because it's accurate, and basically, with if they can't see it in themselves, they see it in people like their mother, their
Right, exactly.
girlfriends, and stuff like that. Because um, there's when I was reading it, I saw elements of I think every woman has some element, just like dudes. Every dude's got some rogue in him.
Right,
Some more than others. But I think the same thing for black women. Every black woman has some ratchet in her. It's just how much. Like, some have like less than 10%. Some got like 95%. Like,
right,
the total
exactly.
strag. So I think when they start reading, you got women got girlfriends that are like undercover undercover ratchets,
Right,
or they like ratchet TV, and so there's a little bit of Jezebel in all women. It's
right,
just
right.
how much.
No, right, right. Pretty much. Just like, I had one girl call me, right?
Hmm.
And she really, from my analysis, being the world's first and foremost expert on stragology, you know what I mean? So,
Well, you in the Urban Dictionary, so
yeah, I'm in Urban Dictionary.
congratulations, making Urban Dictionary under the
Yeah,
Grinch.
the Grinch is getting hood famous in this joint, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I mean, they pretty much, a girl called me, and I remember one of them called me, and she was kind
Mm,
of tearing up, but because she had a couple of the and when I say a couple, I mean like two or three characteristics out of
mm,
that whole list.
mm,
But that's very minor. And even the
mm,
character, even the parts that she was,
mm.
it was like, that's something that you can work on. It's not something that's, that you can't fix. So I think the point is, like, when women call me about the book, a lot of this stuff can be fixed. You just have to catch yourself and then just make a habit out of, you know what I'm saying, not performing that behavior, not just for yourself or your own well-being, but for how you're perceived. Because if you're able to control these characteristics, then you're able to, you might even be able to punch above your weight class,
That's true.
for
That's
for a
true.
lot of for a lot of women. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of girls out here who think, I've lost the genetic lottery. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the best looking or this and that. Like, a lot of self-conscious issues.
Right.
But the thing is, if you come into the table with an attitude that is cooperative, that is feminine, that's
Hmm.
something that can't be denied. And even if you aren't top notch in the looks category,
Right.
you will still get the respect of a lady. And I
Yeah.
think that's what a lot of people don't understand. They think everything is just surface level. And look, in the club, yeah, but if you're looking for something long term,
Hmm.
then it goes a lot deeper than that.
Yeah. 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 And I think a lot of women have say like Tony in her office building. Uh, she got to learn how to deal if you work around a lot of black women, you're gonna have to learn how to deal with the ratchets, on some level.
This will definitely help you with that being able to deal, because there's a lot of girls out here who they're not built like that. They might have especially if they're on the lower end of the traits,
Mm-hmm.
like you only got a couple of traits,
Mm-hmm.
maybe mannerisms or something like that, something
Mm-hmm.
that's learned or conditioned in you, but you think and you operate like a whole human being.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you might get around your friends and you might maybe fit in
Mm-hmm.
because you know the culture, but you're not like them, and then you wonder why you get shunned. Or I
Mm-hmm.
had a girl talk to me today in the chat room, and she was like, "Yo, I read your book, and I've seen this, and that. I've been wondering why I can't keep any friends." And, and it's because she's not built like that, and that's a real thing.
That's true. That's true. I've seen many black women that come from like the suburbs, right, and try to fit in. And I tell them, you wouldn't raise like that, baby. You wouldn't raise like middle class or upper middle class. Okay, there's some things that because like the high level ratchets, for lack of a better term, they know their own.
Oh yeah, the Strags
The
and the
strags know their own.
dedicated ratchets.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
They,
they do know. They can tell even if you got the mannerisms down.
yeah.
They can tell even if you grew up around people. Because look, we all share the same culture.
Mm-hmm.
We all grow up around the same music, the same everything.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, you're gonna have those similarities. But what really unites the ratchet community is
Mm-hmm.
the dysfunction.
Yeah.
And if you're missing that element, you are going to be a weirdo. That's
Mm-hmm.
just what it is.
That's what it is. Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah.
The,
Well, Grinch, I wanted to ask because I'm still reading the book,
mm.
but what is the age group that's covered for the Ratchet? Is there a
Um.
particular age group?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like a loose estimation, right? So look, the difference between a ratchet and a strag is that the strag has doubled down in the dysfunction. So you can meet a strag
Mm-hmm.
who's 23 years old because she's doubled down in her dysfunction so hard there's no coming back. You get out here, you have 5 kids by 5 different baby daddies. You catch a record. You do these things that continuously perpetuate the cycle of dysfunction in your life, to where anybody who comes into your life is going to have to deal with that inevitably. And once you radiate ratchetivity, that's when you're a strag. When every environment you go into, you're out of place because you're so dysfunctional. That that is a strag. A ratchet is somebody who distributes the behaviors and the characteristics of that are ratchet. But the thing is, they still have. It's a choice. They have, and it's not. I'm not saying it's like it's easy. But for some people, they learn this from their. For most people, they learn it from their mamas. They learn it from their families, their friends. It's conditioning. So if they're able to break that conditioning without having those things that might follow you into other spheres of your life, or when other people come into your life, if you're able to control if you can limit that shit to your behavior and control your behavior, then you have the possibility of being something more than a ratchet. So if I was to say an age though, like, look, if you get out of your 20s and you're still on the ratchet thing because the percentage is so low for you ever, achieving a higher quality of living, or changing your lifestyle, that would be a general bookmark for strag and ratchet. So strag is everything outside of your 20s.
Okay, thank you so much for that.
Hmm.
Wow. Is there a particular age group that you suggest reading? Because I have a friend that purchased the book, and she wants to know if it's appropriate for her 16-year-old grandson.
Oh yeah. I would recommend this book for because look, I'm a realist, right? So I know what
Mm-hmm.
the kids have been doing. I know exactly what I was doing at 16. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
What
we
was
can
that? What
read
was that? Just too short.
everything off limits. You know what I mean?
Buck wild, huh?
Yeah, it's been crazy. I was Look, at 16, I was a dropout. You know what I'm saying? I was a high school dropout just wilding out. So the thing is, yeah, like I would say anybody, I would say as young as 13, as young as 30, as the way kids is getting it in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like okay, if your kid is having sex, your kid can read this book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let her know. Thank
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Especially boys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I send a copy to my little brother then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The pull of the ratchet is like the call of the siren.
And they get you early.
And get
That's how they like to get you. That's why you run into like 17, 18-year olds with two kids.
Mm-hmm.
They get
Mhm.
you early because we're fucking, to be honest. But I mean, when there's nothing else to do, especially when your boys aren't pushing to male dominated spaces and they
Mm-hmm.
just have an idle time, you
Mm-hmm.
know, all they're gonna do is get into trouble
Yep.
and get into pussy. That's it.
Yep. Yep.
Well, what's up,
you.
yo? Y'all wake up, man, so y'all can keep me
Any
awake.
any questions, ladies, for him?
I have a question. Good evening, everybody.
What up? What
Good
up?
evening.
Good
It's
evening.
Nicole, right?
Congratulations. Congratulations, Grinch, on your book.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
No problem. From what I read so far, seems really interesting. I need to continue reading. I probably read it twice, but what I do is when I look at books, I go to the table of contents, and the two chapters that jumped out at me were the spiritual strag,
Oh
Yeah.
Lord.
the ratchet, and the educated one,
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
you know.
educated.
And I was like, ah. So I literally flipped a coin
Mm-hmm.
to determine which one I would read first. And so I started reading. Ended up being a spiritual strike. I was like, damn.
You know, you from South Carolina. You know, the
I
spiritual
didn't want
straggles
to.
that's gonna come
Yeah.
up.
I was like, okay. So I was gonna do best 2 out of 3, but no, I just went ahead and started reading it. It's real interesting. I mean, I the other day had to deal with the spiritual drag on the on the hangouts and
Mm.
stuff, and that was really hard to deal with. But I got what you were saying there, and really there's really no communication at that point. When
Right.
you know that you're level headed, you're logical, you can't, you just get mixed up in a tumbleweed of lies and deception, and then they
Yeah.
want to fall back on the Bible. But I'm like, in your book, you went into detail about the story of Jezebel,
Right.
and all that, and that was an Ahab and all that. So that was really important for you to have it in there. I appreciate that.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. And the spiritual strag, that's one of the ratchets where, and I mean the traits can apply to all of them, depending
Mm.
on
Mhm.
who you're dealing with. But
Mm.
the spiritual strag, one of her most standout traits is speaking in confusion. You
Mm.
know, that's one of her standout traits because speaking in confusion doesn't mean you're just saying gibberish. You could be saying something that you can hear it and you can compute it and you can comprehend it. But the
Mhm.
thing is it won't make any sense because they're not using language in a way that really says what their true intentions are. They're using the language in a way, whichever way they can, using whatever justification they can, to either talk like they know more than you, or to talk
Mhm.
like to be on some, how would I put it? Uh, to talk like they know more than you, or to speak as if their actions are justified by a
Right.
higher
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
purpose.
Right.
So
Right.
that's something that they do. I know a spiritual strag, personally. She's actually
Mhm.
like my favorite strag. Like, I honestly, like, I don't really pay her attention like that,
Mm-hmm.
but like not to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, because I understand her, and that's the whole point. Because there's going to be a lot of ratchets out here. We're never going to, you can't go around healing everybody. Look, you gotta. It's a choice. You got to make it on your own. And some people's minds are so warped, they're going to be like that forever. But if you can understand how these people move, you can manipulate them, and have them thinking y'all just best of friends when you really don't give a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can talk the language, huh?
Yeah, you can speak the language, or really just let her speak her language and don't pay it any attention.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, you can easily trip them up in lies, and when you know that that's what they're trying to do to justify their fuckery, then it's over with for them. The most important thing for any of the strays, in my opinion, is exposing the hypocrisy and exposing just absolute, just being an
Well, what
idiot.
reaction do you want to get from that though? Like, if you do that, now keep in mind, if you do that,
Hmm.
and you embarrass the Jezebel, you point out her hypocrisy, or you
Hmm.
poke holes in her logic or her reasoning, she's going to get visceral. And look, I'm not trying to have any ladies out here get a strag big mad. That's the last thing you really want to do.
Say what? Say what?
Straight Big
A
Mac.
strag big man. What the hell is that?
I really don't want y'all to do that, because you never know how they'll judge. Because the thing is, the delusion is so potent.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Hmm.
And so they're liable to do, like, the spiritual strag I know has stabbed people. And the
Hmm.
thing is, if you ask her about it, it was the God guided her hand
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
to this
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
nigga's abdomen, and it was meant to be, and hallelujah, amen, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm saying. If you look, the thing is, if you run into it, I wouldn't recommend trying to convert any of these ratchets, like, unless it's somebody you really truly care about and you really
Yeah.
want them to do better. Because the thing is, once you go against anybody's core beliefs, man or woman,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to provoke a reaction that is unpleasant damn near 100% of the time, because people people, even the people who can disagree or can disagree without being disagreeable, once you start attacking people's core beliefs and
Mm-hmm.
what they define their world by,
Yep.
you're putting them into the fear of or you're putting them into the unknown. And what people don't understand,
Mm-hmm.
because they have their own perspective, they will fear. And when you put like an animal against the wall, it's only
Mm-hmm.
going to be two options they're going to do. And more than likely, if you can find a character in this book, they're not running.
That's true.
Mm.
That is true.
For real. So stay safe out here.
Mm-hmm.
And on that note, um, Grinch,
What up?
my favorite part of the book was the 10 ratchet commandments. But this one right here, thou shalt fear water.
Oh boy,
Thou shalt
yeah,
fear
yeah, yes.
Not my hair.
Matter of
That's
fact, let
part.
me let me pull up those
Not my
commandments.
hair.
And they did that in the whole bath.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
the strag, uh,
Mm-hmm.
wipe down.
Yeah, yeah. Why don't you just take a shower?
Just
No,
take a
all I
damn
need.
shower,
Oh
nasty,
yeah,
nasty.
yeah, yeah. All I gotta do is take a whole bath, get in the sink. So
Where my
okay,
wipe?
yeah, yeah.
Hey, but
You
if you
know.
notice, they don't like
That's
water.
that's from an educated strag. That's why I was bringing that up. I was like, "You go take a shower, nasty." Mm-mm.
It take you shorter time to actually take a shower than wipe down.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't like water. You know, they don't, and they don't like water in any type of way. But water is kind of used as like a,
But
you know,
why is every woman has heard of a whole bath?
because
Because you've
it's a
seen
common
it, and it's
thing.
like wiping down like an old piece of furniture from Goodwill.
Hmm.
Mm, mm,
Hmm.
mm. A mess.
Ah man, put some holy water on you, girl.
But they don't like water because look, a ratchet is unclean, and it's because she
Mm-hmm.
feels filthy from the inside, so it's gonna come out, and it
Mm.
comes out in her, it could come out in her hygiene. It could come out in the fact that she has the, when I say water, I'm talking about it in different ways. Like maybe yes, hygiene, but also in the way that she's mud. So she's always going to be in the filth. She's going to sling mud. She's going to
Mm-hmm.
mud sling. She's going to, she's going to use dirty tricks and tactics. Uh, that's what water means. Like the whole thing, not just her hygiene, man. She's just unclean because she doesn't, she doesn't believe in her own self-worth, so that's what she projects out.
Yeah. She should probably also drink water because
That would help. Yeah, that,
Yeah,
that,
that
u-
would
the urine,
definitely
the
help.
urine can get mighty strong.
Yeah, for real. The shit, the urine ain't even got to look. If you don't drink water as a female, you start smelling like a
Yep.
good guy. You shit.
hmm
As you can tell, I've had terrible experiences. I'm just one of these niggas who've I've never been afraid to be like, yo, bitch, get your motherfucking ass out my house.
I've done that myself.
I,
Put the
lo- I
clothes.
love myself too much,
Yeah,
man.
put your clothes back on. Ain't nothing gonna happen tonight. Yep. The way the urine looks like pine saw. That's crazy.
Oh my goodness, that's horrible.
Hmm.
But what else y'all want to talk about the book?
I like when you said they like to use shaming language,
Oh
which
yeah,
stood out to me.
yeah. That's like one of the number one go tos because it's the quickest. It's the quickest thing. The ratchet is always going to find the quick fix for any situation, and more times than not, if they're talking to somebody who lives in reality, somebody who doesn't subscribe to the dysfunction,
Hmm.
then that's their first. And because it has become mainstream,
Hmm.
that's their first weapon. The flick of the tongue. That's what they have. That's their main thing. And honestly, that's why a lot of the characteristics kind of surround that shit, around the shit that they say, because that's really all they really have. I mean, unless they're going to take it to another level. The ratchet is really a basic creature when you think about it.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, what I can't understand is why is especially nowadays why is drag behavior so popular.
It's a combination of things, but a lot of it comes from the inferior. The number one thing
Hmm.
is that causes it is the inferiority complex that dates all the way back to the plantation.
Hmm.
So you can look at some of the attitudes and some of the mannerisms and assumptions and stereotypes, and you
Hmm.
can see you can actually look at mainstream media and see men and women playing out minstrel characters, on media networks and music videos and TV shows and news networks and like the works. And it's that inferiority complex. But once you add that to the fact that generation after generation of mothers, because mothers pass down culture,
Hmm.
are passing down these menstrual qualities
Hmm.
and these pretty much passing down the white supremacist ideology, instilling that in their kids.
Hmm.
That's why you see the ratchet and the simp act the way they do, because the strag raised both of them, except they just raised both of them in different ways. They raised the girl to come up and be the strong independent this and that. You don't need no niggas for shit. Niggas ain't shit, all
Hmm.
that shit. you
Hmm.
know while at the same time not understanding they're destroying their femininity at the same time while they do that. While in the men, they're they're not pushing their men into male spaces, and the whole time while they're hearing niggas ain't shit, niggas ain't this, niggas ain't that, they're seeing their mother act out what's been taught to her, which is that niggas ain't shit. But knowing that black women fuck with niggas for the most part, almost 100%. I mean, it's kind of sets the tone for any relationships they have, which why so many simps are out here and why they are like the main food source of the ratchet. That's how a lot of ratchets survive, is off the goodwill of a simp.
Yeah, I know. I've seen
Yeah,
that. I've seen that.
it's unfortunate, but it
And
is what it is.
we get the on the in the ministry we get a lot of those side effects by
Yeah,
man have been destroyed by some ratchet because the
yeah.
ratchet it was seemingly like an easy meal.
Right, exactly. But that's the thing is, if it's not easy, it's out of the ratchet's reach.
Yeah.
Which is why the simp is necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Because anything of substance, anything of value is going to take it's going to take something of value.
Mm-hmm.
Water seeks its own level.
Mm-hmm.
So when these women run around here and say niggas ain't shit or niggas ain't this or that, it's
Mm-hmm.
because that they're dealing with the men who are on their level because they're not shit.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Facts.
Yep. You're either if the ratchet, you're either a companion or food, and
Yeah.
a lot of time guys don't know which they are.
Well, they're all food eventually. Even they're all food eventually. So
You ain't shit, Rich.
it's the truth, man. They look they're trained like that. But look, this is why they fight so viciously because, like
Mm-hmm.
I said, when you go against somebody's core values,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna react. Like we've seen this. We've seen this shit over the past 48 hours.
Oh yeah, yeah,
A motherfucker can't believe it. And the thing is, the delusion is so hard that they think some of them even think that they actually have rank.
yeah.
But then when it comes down to it, they figure out, oh shit, I'm just a pet Pookie. You feel me? Like this is it for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a very harsh reality for somebody to deal with, especially when, like, a lot of the guys realize this shit when they're over 30, and it's like, yo, I've done made a whole life, like, I done lived my whole life this way. I done
Mm-hmm.
had kids, and I done did all this shit, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not shit.
Yeah.
It's fucking just, it's mentally crippling.
I think Zion Williams' stepfather is getting ready to find that out.
Oh God.
Your food just
Yeah.
took longer to digest.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of dudes think, like a lot of people think of simps as men who don't, men who are ugly, who are just low ranking men on the physical standpoint, on the physically, are you select or not. But there's a lot of good looking simps. Like the thing is, the matriarchy or the gynocracy
Mm-hmm.
doesn't give a fuck what you look like.
Mm-hmm.
If you're male, you're going to be bred and raised to
Mm-hmm.
be food.
Be food, huh?
Yeah.
And when she's done, she's gonna
Um,
cast your side and go ahead.
I have a question, Grinch. That was a
Mm.
good segue into my question. You're saying that the strag or the ratchet, I like the strag better. Um, but the strag raises these boys to be food, right?
Mm.
So if you know someone or have someone in your family that is that would that's a strag,
Mm-hmm.
how do you go about like trying to resolve that? Because obviously you love that person, you're trying to figure out what to do, you know, and
Um.
like how do you go about, like, she has a son, and you want to, I don't want him to be no food, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
how do you go about that? Like, how
Well.
would you, if you could, how would you?
Mm, I would say like this before you ever try to, because look, what we're talking about here is we're fighting generations upon generations of this shit being passed down, and you're just looking
Yeah.
at the latest. You're looking at Ratchet. 11.5 right now. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
the shit is instilled. They've seen previous generations. If you have a big family, I know you said you're from the South, so
Hmm.
if they have a big family, chances are it's going to be, the bigger your family is, the more it's going to be reinforced because this is a mainstream thing now, right? This is the norm in the Black community.
Mm.
So you're gonna, before you even embark on this, you have to accept the possibility of failure because there's not going to be too many people around who's going to be a mirror, which is why other women who don't subscribe to the dysfunction end up being on some shit where they don't, they say, like the girl told me today, oh, I can't keep friends. It's because they are a mirror for her. You
Mm-hmm.
feel
Yep.
me?
Hmm.
And so if you have all these women around her who subscribe to the same ideology as she does, then it's going to be that much more difficult, because only when she's around you is she ever going to be able to, be on some shit where, okay, maybe I'm fucked up. But everything else around her, including most of the men, either within her family or outside her family, because this is mainstream, are going to validate her. And so if a woman is getting validated for something that, or how she behaves, then there's no incentive to change the behavior. And in fact, people will start looking at you like something's wrong with you because you're not like everybody else. So I would just say, if you're going to try, be prepared to fail. And I would approach it from the angle of, I say your best bet is if she gets with a dude and the dude considers her despite her ideology, and you and the dude culture, because between the dick and your advice and his positive reception to that, if he has a lot of pull with her, then you can convert her.
Oh, okay. I see.
That's what I would do.
Basically, we need to do a strag exorcism. Is
Yeah,
that what you suggest?
you got to have the right magic wand after you do the strag exorcism.
I'll be in the room. She gonna be throwing up, raising up the bed and shit.
Basically, yeah, you need him to actually go in and perform the exorcism, and then she'll be shaking afterward, but she'll be open to new ideas. That's what he's saying. You need a right kind of guy to kind of bring her out of it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you.
Yeah, it helps a great deal. You know what I mean? Than just trying to do it by yourself. Unless like she's but this rarely ever happens. The fact that you just have the one that's ratchet in the family, like that's not how that usually occurs. It's usually her mama's a strag, her sister's a ratchet. You know what I mean? Like, her grandma's a strag.
She's not the only one. She's just the youngest one. My sister. So that's the problem. She's the youngest one. So the sphere of influence is more. She's in her early 20s, but the sphere of influence around her is very strong, because it's like what they've all pretty much done the same things. Like they all hang together, and I'm not physically there anymore. So it's like it's more, it's less, not control, but I'm not able to like monitor as much, and kind of keep her like in the fold, so to speak.
Right.
But she just does whatever she wants.
Yeah, I wouldn't. To be honest, I would just. I don't know. Yeah, I would leave. I would leave it, because the thing is, if you want to maintain communication with her, what you don't want to do is be that relative over the phone telling her about her fucking strag tendencies when the whole world is validating her. She's gonna, y'all will drift apart even further. You know what I mean? So that if you just want to because sometimes you just gotta, people got to figure it out on their own. This is what we tell thinking black men here. Like, look, nobody's trying to save. Like, that was the mistake we was talking about early with the pet Pookie. Like, we tried to help him so many times, but the thing is, he's so deep in, he's so committed. He has everybody around him giving him that validation.
Right.
Even though he doesn't have any real rank or anything, he's not anybody of importance because of this fact. The fact that he's getting the validation that he needs from the places that he wants it, that's not enough to us talking to him on a hangout or on a back chat or whatever, just like how you would call her on the phone, it's not enough.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Yeah. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Who's
next? While the stragologist is in the building.
Doctor instead of Dr. Strange, Dr. Scrag.
Dr. Scrag in the building.
In the building.
Oh my God.
Who's next, Cats? I know you got another question. You and Nola.
You ain't lying. Yeah. Ooh, you ain't lying.
Okay. So in the sisterhood part of the book, you were talking about like one of the main identifiers is weave, and as we all know, they got a lot of women who wear weave out here, but they also got a lot of women who go natural.
Right.
And a lot of them be psychos too.
Right.
So,
Although the worst, the natural scrag is actually worse. Ooh, my goodness.
so my question, I guess, would be, what other like physical identifiers outside of the weave could we see with a ratchet?
Well, anything that takes away from her natural beauty, because see, the mindset of the ratchet, particularly the Black American ratchet, is that she's not good enough. And the reason why this is because she's internalized the ideology of white supremacy that's been passed down to her.
Mm-hmm.
And so the thing is, the ones who have it the worst will do the most. If you're, and this is just because look, there are some ratchets that you'll look at and you wouldn't even think until they open their mouth or until you be around them.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, as far as physical identifiers go, if for a guideline, the thing is, the more outrageous the weave is, the more
colors,
external markings, tattoos, piercings. I mean, because it's not about the fact that they have tattoos or piercings. It's not like, oh well, I like tattoos, so I have tattoos. No, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the fact that they do. It's a costume. That's why I named it the Ratchet's Rouge, right? Because the rouge is makeup, but it's also embarrassment. So the more things somebody does to themselves to cover themselves up and seek validation, the more uncomfortable they are with who they really are, and the more likely they are to distribute the Jezebel traits I listed in the book.
Okay. So it could really just be like anything outlandish that they wear.
Right. Anything outlandish and it's a different thing to be attention seeking. And I don't want to get that confused, even though, promiscuity is a Jezebel trait, but I don't want to get that confused with covering up who you are. And there's a big difference. Like look, if a woman is wearing natural weave, you know what I'm saying, or hair pieces rather, that, I mean, that's different, but it's still showing like you don't, you know what I'm saying, you're either don't know how to take care of your hair so it can grow, which is also something that the Jezebel doesn't do. She doesn't understand her femininity, so she can't properly care for herself. You know what I mean? Or honestly, I mean, when it comes down to the bundles and all that shit, it's just really you have to eyeball it. And as a dude, I guess as a dude who's had a lot of experience in that, like I know who the one hit wonders are at the club, right? And what I mean by that is like I know who I could go in there and bag and never see again, just off a rip. And it's just because they have all the calling signs, which is yes, it can be attention seeking, but really, if you find somebody who's trying to do something other than what they are, right? Like you could use ass implants for an example, right? Somebody with ridiculous butt implants, blood or butt injections. Why is she doing that? Because she's trying to fit up into the stereotypical image that what she thinks Black beauty is. And honestly, if she had a choice between it, she would trade pale skin for all that ass any day of the week.
Yep.
Think about it like compensating. Like how a little dick nigga will get a big ass truck. you feel me? Like that.
Okay.
So they have to over like transgender, what we used to call drag queens. They have to overcompensate. They have to be loud and boisterous and draw attention to themselves. They have to overcompensate because they're not really women.
Yeah, facts. Exactly. Which is why they wear all the exaggerated hair pieces, hair colors, exaggerated sparkly lipstick, the most outrageous fucking heels, even though their fucking calf muscles look like they play, defense for the Browns or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Walking outside Atlanta varsity, like.
Eyeliner around the lipstick.
Yeah, eyeliner around the lipstick to try to accentuate the lips. You know, like these are all things they're doing to compensate for their lack of femininity, and it's no difference with the ratchet.
You said outside of Varsity, right there off what is that, 85 and North Avenue?
Yep.
Right there down the street from the Bank of America.
I don't remember the Bank of America. I
Big
just
tall
remember the
Bank of
Varsity.
America building.
Was that a Bank of America building? That's like a
Yeah,
corporate
with a
building,
big
huh?
cage on the top. That's the corporate Bank of America for
Okay,
Atlanta.
yeah. I remember that.
I know it. I know where it is.
You've been everywhere, Nicole.
Like 6 blocks from Georgia Tech.
Yeah, real close to Georgia Tech. Yep.
Right, I know. They do be ratchet out there for real at that Varsity.
Yo, they better be having these big ass.
What?
Like I know you're not a woman with the big broad ass shoulders and shit. Like
they got shoulder pads underneath their skin.
Yo, niggas be cock diesel. Like
Santa Monica Boulevard, we love.
Oh gosh. Oh, Santa Monica and San Vicente. What?
Yeah.
They got the rainbow on the ground. Mark their territory.
It's crazy, man. But come on, I know y'all got more questions because look, we deal with strags and shit every day on this bitch. We don't want to get this motherfucker.
Well, don't be shy. Jump right in. Ask the real questions. You guys.
Yeah, that's a real question. Look at Grinch. We look. Let's get into this fucking stale ass fucking format. Just fucking shoot. You dig?
I asked a good question. I got some good advice. Thank you, because I'm
go right
good
ahead.
No, I already asked one, but I'm gonna wait for y'all.
Oh, okay. My question, Grinch, would be for the men. How long will it take them to recognize the ratchet's behavior or strag behavior for them to be aware to run away or go the other way?
Well, really, just like with anything else, you know, practice makes perfect. You know what I mean? So the more you deal with women, the easier it is to tell the difference between the type, and not just type and really the main difference they should be looking for. You know, it's something that should be automatic but from these red pill sectors, I know a lot of dudes don't. You know, they haven't really developed this skill. You know, dudes know, like I said, like when I walk in the club, I walk in a lounge or something, I know who's the one hit wonder. I already know who I'm feeling. You know, I know who's on the menu as soon as I get in that joint. But I also can tell the ones who aren't, you know what I'm saying? Or the ones who are fishing for something instead of using themselves as bait. You know what I'm saying? So it just comes over time being able to deal with different types of women, especially if you deal with a certain group of women over and over again. Like say your preference is black women, and you deal with black women all the time. Eventually, you're going to be able to pick up the signs because people people ain't that much different. It's just people have different levels of depth, and the ratchet is the one with the most shallow, superficial level. You know, and the things that go along with that, we could use the physical characteristics. A person could go off of behavior. Say if you end up being even during a night, like how do I know the one hit wonders? Because of the body language, because of how they move, because of what they're doing. You know, women who carry themselves in a different way are so easy to spot nowadays because everybody else is on the menu.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'd say it depends on the guy. A rookie, a rookie with his nose wide open, yeah, you're gonna get fucked, and you're gonna probably get your pockets ran and everything else. But it'll probably happen to him a couple times, depending on his level of idiocy. But after he grows up, you know what I'm saying, he gets some skin in the game, and he should be able to walk into anywhere and understand not only who's who, but what he can get. Just by his reputation, just from his prior wins and losses.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm hoping there's hope for men that just keep repeating the same thing over and over again.
Oh no, that's food. That's food.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah, food do the same thing over and over again. You know, it's kind of like a fish in a fish bowl. You know, every time you near the fish bowl, that motherfucker swim to the top because that motherfucker is expecting you to throw some shit in there because that shit is domesticated. It's the same thing with the simp. Every time you bring some pussy around that nigga and you dangle that shit in front of his face, he get a whiff of that shit. He gonna do the same thing he did last time and the time before that and the time before that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 But that's how men hunt. They go by what works. What worked the last time.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thanks so much for that.
Mm-hmm.
Next, please. Who's up?
I have a question.
What's up?
Um, I also like the part where you said one of the other traits is their inability to evolve. And I know earlier you mentioned that they gravitate towards other women who are their mirror, who they mirror to be like.
Right.
Um, okay, my question is, if they're mirroring to be like um, these specific type women, like say they gravitate towards Nicole, but um, is that something that are okay? Say they gravitate towards Nicole. My question is, um, just like they ruin men's lives, will they ruin her life too? Like,
Oh, for sure. For it's an inevitability. The ratchet is about destruction. She has a chaotic nature.
okay,
So if
yeah,
they see somebody like Nicole who has her shit together, you know what I'm saying? She do this, yeah, still they'll admire that. But you have to examine why they admire that. Look, the
hmm
ratchet is always looking for an opportunity, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and a lot of the times it's not just in the form of you know, dick attention, right? It's in the form of associations. Because look, the ratchet wants to feel important too. That's part of the selling process to the Negro.
Mm-hmm.
It's mixing you know, something to feed the ego. Like Nicole is a scientist, right? So you know, oh, my best homegirl is a scientist. It makes her feel more important.
It will.
You get what I'm saying? It makes her feel of importance, but at the same time, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? If Nicole is accepting of her fuckery, then she has another form of validation because somebody else is participating, whether a little bit or a lot of it, in her everyday fuckery. So you like the ratchet isn't going to do anything that isn't self-serving. So if they're trying to fuck with you, yes, eventually everybody's exposable or everybody's disposable to the ratchet. The ratchet is about the bottom line at the end of the day. And say if Nicole, you know, got a dude and you know what I'm saying, and he's worth something, trust me.
Mm-hmm.
If she feels like she can, if she feels like the possibility is that she could snag him,
Mm-hmm.
then
Right.
trust me, she's gonna do that. Ratchets don't have real friends. That's why they fight each other all the time.
Right.
that's
and
deep.
and they don't trust each other either.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that if there was a ratchet and as my friend like that, being around me and being around people that I've associated with that are in a different arena than she is, it would probably make her think more in a manipulative way because she'll see how business is really done, not to better herself, but like you were saying earlier, Grinch, is for manipulation purposes. Like, how can I use these tools that they're teaching me, these
Mm-hmm.
behaviors, different things they're doing? She won't even look at the fact that, like look inward to see
no,
like what can
yeah,
I change to be on that level. Nah, she's gonna see she's gonna go the easier route
Mm-hmm.
and then still try to take credit as if she took the harder route,
no,
to
for
get
sure.
something.
That's a trait. That's a trait of the ratchet, you know. But the thing is
Mm,
about the scenario. Usually, when ratchets have a friend who's on the up and up,
mm-hmm.
they have very few. They probably have one friend like that. And the reason a ratchet would never usually, I mean never say never, but usually she's not going to want to be around you and your friends
No.
because
Okay.
you're the one providing the validation because you're accepting it. You deal with her dysfunction. If you bring her
Mm,
around a whole bunch of people who operate in a totally different manner, she feels isolated.
Isolated.
She
Yeah.
feels
okay.
she feels alone. She feels left out And it doesn't have to be y'all could be the most welcoming people in the world, the most non-judgmental people in the world. But the fact that y'all don't share this same internal struggle, she can feel that. And so she's going to want to leave that space.
Yeah, yeah. She's gonna actually,
Mm,
she's
okay.
actually sit in the corner and be quiet, and you never know that she's there.
Yeah.
Well, see, and that's true, and that's why I was thinking, she's sitting in the corner or being, more nonchalant about
Mhm.
things. Then she's probably, my thing is, if you're a strag, you're always plotting. So, but strags can see and take in information as well. It's but the way I think you said it one time, like it's the way they interpret
Mhm.
what they are seeing and hearing. And for her, a lot of times it would be to, flip it back and try to manipulate that situation as a defense mechanism as well. That could
Yes,
be
right.
another thing, but
Mhm.
like you just said, there's no reason to have your guard up. But
Yeah.
I have never looked at it from a strag's, point of view.
She doesn't speak your language, and she doesn't,
Right, right.
and she doesn't want to be exposed. That's the thing. So
That yeah, exposure is
yeah.
that's what I was saying earlier. How to exposing them. But I understand now.
And
Mhm.
and strags
I
and
understand.
don't get it twisted, strags can learn. They
Mhm.
can just never grow.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You
They
feel
Mm-hmm.
adapt.
me?
They
Yeah,
adapt.
they can adapt, and then that's a part of growing is adapting to the stimuli in your environment. You
Mhm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
she's never going to be able to do that because she's operating the way she operates, but she can learn shit. You
Mhm.
she could learn how you a style, how you
Mm-hmm.
dress, how do you think. Look, ratchets don't have original thoughts. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Their whole entire ideology is based on what the dominant society has passed down. They heavily subscribe to that. They have no original thoughts, which is why you see so many hoes with Marilyn Monroe tattoos. Which is why you see these hoes call other hoes off brand if they're not wearing what's in this video or that video or in this magazine. And it's simply because even when you look at other races of women that they aspire to be like, who
Mhm.
shop at thrift stores and pull niggas at lounges, at clubs, at bars, they don't see that because they need that validation. But the only think of it like this: a ratchet is like a walking, talking, stanking mannequin.
Oh my God.
She gets everything. She's one of the motherfuckers who will buy everything off the rack
Mhm.
because she want to
Mm-hmm.
look exactly like what
Yep.
the fuck is put out there for as the
Mm-hmm.
standard.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
We have a question from the chat room.
Mhm.
Someone wants to know if both classes have an hierarchy, meaning the strag and the ratchet.
You said both classes have do both classes have a hierarchy?
Do
Yes.
both classes have a hierarchy? Is there different levels of ratchets and different levels of
Probably.
strags?
Yeah, there are different levels, but they're both based off mainly. They're both based off validation.
Okay.
So if you have a ratchet, and you know how, because ratchets do classify themselves, and they see, but the things that kind of go along with that are looks, and it's things that are heavily emphasized, right? So for all women, looks are emphasized. So looks is going to be that, because that's it for all women, whether you're a ratchet or not. That's a big selling point for women, is beauty. So how you look, but if you want to add the ratchet traits, the Jezebel qualities in there, it's also going to be how you fight. You feel me? How you who you're able to fuck. Uh your zip code. They're people too. They live in the same social system and everything that we do too. It's just the fact that when it comes down to the hierarchies, it's based on valid, like how a simp will base how his worth off of his interactions with women solely. Regardless of how men think of it. Look, we just seen this with Pet Pookie today. He thought he had hella rank because he based his entire image off what women thought of him. And then he came over to an area where, you know what I'm saying, of men, and he found out that that shit doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? So it's levels to this shit, just like it's levels to all things.
Let me ask you a question. What is the married ratchet?
Oh, the married ratchet is just a ratchet who gets married. Ratchets get married.
Who did they
Ratchet-
get married? Who did they get married to?
they get married to. Usually they get married to young men, and
Mm,
if it's not young men, then it's simps. So
mm,
uh, pretty much the ratchet, a lot of the times because of her dysfunction, early on she's already saddled with kids. She already has adult responsibilities, and she's looking for a way out. And a ratchet's best way out is young men, and that's why you see so many young men a lot of times being stepfathers. Is
mm,
because they don't understand their own worth yet because they're still developing, and
mm,
so they catch these boys before they mature,
mm,
so that they could be tied in or locked in to a guaranteed source of income, to a guaranteed place to stay,
mm.
while being able to, as the ruling would say, make unilateral decisions without the consent of their men. So they
Right.
got a baby with another nigga,
Mm-hmm.
fuck this nigga, bounce on him,
Mm-hmm.
file that
Yep.
paperwork, find another young man,
Mm-hmm.
attach himself. Like I know a girl right now
Mm-hmm.
who had a baby. I had a Marine homeboy who
Mm-hmm.
married her. He married her, had a baby with her. You know what I'm saying? The whole time she was doing what the fuck she wanted, and then she, just like how she dipped on the first dude, she
Mm-hmm.
dipped on this dude.
Okay.
And then there's one dude in the background who she's always fucking.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, it's it's a, people call it monkey branching, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
But it's really, this is how they do that, they look. I know like shit, when I first got out to California,
Mm-hmm.
I was just wiser than what I put on, right? So
Okay.
I got with a girl who was like 9 years older than me. And
Mm-hmm.
I was 19, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? She's 28, you know what I'm saying? And she had her own place, but she
Yeah.
also had 3 kids. She had
Mm-hmm.
3 kids, 2 cars, and a big
Mm-hmm.
ass house. And how did she accumulate this shit? By if you ever played checkers, she
Yep.
basically did the goddamn jump all the way to the back row king me. That's
Yep.
what she did.
Yep.
So this
Yep.
this is how they operate.
Yep. They're using the baby to as a wealth accumulation. I just told it. I told that story, man, when they were talking about women don't have babies for checks. I said yes, they do. I know. One chick that she had 4 babies by 4 different dudes that have pretty good jobs, and basically she bought a house. Had bought a nice house in the suburbs with a couple of nice cars,
Hmm.
and yeah, yep. So I guess she would
Military is a
qualify
big
as a married
target.
strag. Yeah.
Yeah, military is a big target. Like them ballers you talking about, niggas with decent jobs,
Mm-hmm.
niggas in STEM,
Mm-hmm.
niggas in tech. You know what I'm saying? Like these are the niggas who are candidate number one. And if they can't get that, then
Mm-hmm.
these are. I think that this is also part of the hierarchy. Who your
Mm-hmm.
baby daddy is. That's also
That's
a part
true.
of
That is true. That is she. You ain't shit, Gris, but
that
that is true.
I'm dead ass, yo. How many times have you heard? You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah, baby, that's why your baby daddy ain't.
Daddy, yeah, 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 yeah. More than a few times, and strags come on all different class levels too.
Oh yeah, strags. It's levels to this shit. You
Yeah,
got some
levels.
strags who ain't from the hood.
Yep,
Who do this, who play this same game. They're just able to play it at a higher level
higher
because they
level.
start off at a higher level.
Yeah, yeah, because they're upper middle class strags that do
Yep.
they're actually educated. That you wouldn't think come from good homes and stuff like that, but they indulge in strag behavior. They're
Oh
not.
yeah.
Yeah, they're not ratchet strags, but they're different kind of strag.
Yeah, yeah. But it's still the same principles, still the
Yep,
same moves on the board,
yep,
still eating the same food.
yep, 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 yep. And shop in better places.
They just exactly. Just shopping at other places. That's why when these niggas be running around like I need a bitch who got up ends and this and
Yep,
that. It's,
yep,
okay,
yep,
nigga.
yep, 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 yep.
Okay, run out there and be stupid.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, Grinch,
Hmm.
at the end of that story, you had said that every ratchet has a story because like
Oh Lord.
didn't she use an excuse for her behavior. And my question would be, when a woman like that presents a guy with a story to basically make him feel sorry for her, how should the guy react?
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Grinch.
Shit, hashtag I feel nothing.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, she's trying to get you to lower your defenses.
Right.
Because
And lower your standards along with it.
along with it, because there's, in other words, you know, because she's 30, she got 4 kids, she's good looking, right? She's 30, she got 4 kids, never been married. She got to have an excuse for that if she wants to move up in class. So she got to have a story to come up. How you have, because you know dude's gonna ask, right, Grinch? Look, mommy, how you 28 and have 4 kids? You know, by
Yeah,
40.
yeah. She gonna be sobbing.
Yeah.
And trust me, the girl I was dealing with in Cali with that
Mhm.
10-year age difference,
Mhm.
she had a story for every one of them little
Yep.
bastards. You know what I'm saying?
And
And I was
none of
just smart enough to not be on no shit. Like this fucking little girl, 13 years old. We both teenagers.
yeah.
What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't nothing that bitch could tell me.
And nothing, and no time was any of those her fault.
Yeah, and it was always some terrible. But the thing is, it was actual shit. Don't get it twisted. A lot of the shit be, I mean, when you hear the stories, of course they're gonna be one sided because they're
Mhm.
gonna want to look the best. But it's not like they're lying though. Sometimes, like the girl I was dealing with, she wasn't lying about what happened. But you got to think about the events and the choices that happened that occurred that created that situation.
Mhm.
And for a young man.
Mhm.
For any man, but especially a young man, that is, if you want the quickest way to obliterate your potential, your earning potential, then go right on ahead and be the benevolent John the Blackest, taking in all the fucking strags in the desert and shit, baptizing them in your fucking semen, and then see how quick you become another notch on the belt, because this is a never-ending lifestyle until you hit menopause.
Mhm. Yep.
Mm.
Yep. And basically,
No, it ain't. That continues after menopause, as far as what I see sometimes.
Not at a high level though.
not at that level. Yeah, but
Not at the level where they're chewing them
Mm,
up and spitting them out. That's what I'm talking about.
okay. Yeah, they
no.
got to put the dentures in first, you know. You know.
Yeah,
Like,
that's like if you get a strag at like around 30, 31, and
Hmm.
she gonna try to get the young dude that she could never get when she was that age.
Hmm.
So
I
she,
think the older ones are sometimes worse because they train the babies up.
yeah,
no,
well,
they are worse. That is the
Hmm.
strag. Those are the
Hmm.
ones that perpetuate this fucking cycle dysfunction that instill. That is the black gynocracy. The black gynocracy is made up of strags.
hmm
Until you're saddled with the kid as a single mom, you're not a part of the gynocracy. I mean, you're just in training. You graduate once you become a baby mom. It's like a requirement, which is why there's
Yeah.
such a celebration around shit like that, but nobody gives a fuck about the institution of marriage.
hmm
Hmm. Hmm.
It's like, yay, you're one of us now, you know?
yeah,
Join us.
join, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
Mm,
that's what that really is, because look, the black gynocracy, well, why do you think they continue to do the shit that they do, even though they know how it felt coming up? Why do you think they teach their children that shit? It's because, look, I know a woman right now who you know justifies her own dysfunction to the point where her own child has now went through the same situation as her, even though she knew how. She'll tell you all day about how hard it was and
Mm-hmm.
how difficult her life was and this and that, but
Mm-hmm.
she taught her daughter the same exact way to end up in the same exact position. And
Mm-hmm.
then to add insult to injury, she spins it as if she was the most benevolent bitch, you know what I'm
mm.
saying, in the barn. You dig what I'm saying? So
Right, right.
Yep, like I think I was saying this last week, where that chick that the 50th baby mama bought a sperminator.
Mhm.
I said, why? He said, why does this sound familiar? And when she said she had a caseworker and she was in a shelter,
Homeless
I said, oh
shelter
yeah, I know what you just did. I said, that's some ratchet shit.
with a lesbian girlfriend that she had in the homeless shelter with her at
Yeah,
18 years old.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. Basically, they
That's
plotted.
crazy.
They plot. How we gonna get out
Yeah.
of this shelter? I said, girl, you need to have
Mm-hmm.
a baby, girl, so we can get out this shelter.
Wow.
You laughing,
This is
Oh my
right?
God.
Right? Laughing. She knows what I'm talking about.
this is a stretch, but Grinch,
Mm.
is there anything about that, or have you seen anything with ratchets and having lesbian lovers?
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, when I first came
Like,
out to where I'm at now, I got off the plane and I knew this girl. I knew her when I was in the military. She was in the military too, right? But she's from California. She's from Dago, right? And she's one of these. She's straight when she want to be and she gay when she want to be. Like she's one of them type motherfuckers, right?
mm,
So I meet her out here at the airport and shit. She picked me up, you know what I'm saying? She tell me about like how she got a girlfriend now with woo woo.
mm,
And I meet the girlfriend.
mm,
Now, the girlfriend is she has how many kids she got? I forget how many kids she got. That's a goddamn shame. I forget how many kids she got.
mm,
But she got at least two,
mm,
right?
mm,
And she's dealing with my homegirl who
mm,
is gay, right? Supposedly.
mm.
So the thing you know how that shit goes.
Situational. Yeah.
Yeah, conditionally. You feel me? So this motherfucking so I see the girl and she has all the markings of what we would identify just on the street as yeah, you're ratchet. You know what
Mm,
I'm saying? But the thing is though, she has two children.
mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
she likes dick. She likes it. She loves it. She got
Yeah.
two kids.
Yeah.
And she's a stripper. Not a stripper
Oh.
in a gay club. She's a stripper in a you know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying in a male in a gentleman's club.
Mm-hmm.
So when I talked to her about it, I was like, yo, and she cause my homegirl's talking about marrying her. And she did. And I was like, yo, you're gonna get really get duped like that.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
I was like, yo, don't you see she's hurting? You know what I'm saying? Like she need help, financial help, and you being in the military still, you are a fucking financial pillar to
Mm-hmm.
lean on. And
Mm-hmm.
so, she went ahead and did it anyway,
Mm-hmm.
because of course, we have these fucking romantic notions of shit that fucking, doesn't fucking exist. But the
Grinch. Grinch. I don't mean to interrupt you, but you know what? Why is it studs is more romantic than dudes are about this shit?
I don't know, and the thing is, she was so cutthroat with the fellas. I'm
Yeah.
talking about she was cutthroat. She would be walking through the P-way on a
Yeah.
fucking naval vessel, grabbing motherfuckers by their balls while they walk through the P-way. Like I like that. You
Yeah.
feel me? Like crazy. And I was like, you hella cutthroat. She's like, yeah, I'm vicious, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah.
Like, but with this bitch, it's like, she's all dreamy eyed, like.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I
This
think
is,
I could do this. Like, bitch, what the fuck you talking about?
this is the one.
Yeah, this is the one. Like,
And with the a stripper with two babies, with
that's
two
what I'm
kids.
saying. Like, I will never understand that shit. But look, she went ahead and did it. I wish her the best. You know what I'm saying? But uh, I mean, that's the kind of dynamic that you see. You see, the thing is, the Jezebel, her
Mm,
sexuality is, you know what I'm saying?
mm,
Everything with her is conditional. Like I
mm,
said, the this is why the Ratchet can't really have any real friends because she doesn't stand on anything. She's not a principal being. She
mm,
does whatever she needs to do to survive, for whether that's be gay for the stay or
mm.
whatever the fuck she need to do. You know
Oh
what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Yep. See, like, yeah, if you go in the hood, man, and Grinch can probably tell you this. Anybody that's in the hood, yeah, you always see the stud man walking around with a girl, and the girl will have like two or three kids.
Yep, exactly. And motherfuckers know what that is. Like that's why niggas be on some shit trying like on some I'ma try her because they know what it is. Like we know you need stability.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you're willing to eat that twat or let another girl eat that cat
Mm-hmm.
simply you know what I'm saying, so you could get the roof over your head and the shit that you need for your children.
Mm-hmm. And then when the bad part is that when the stud drag man gets well, no, I should say the stud simp because basically she's a female simp. And
Right.
sometimes those studs are the worst simps in the world, man. I mean some things that dudes would never even touch, would never even touch.
Right.
They walk right into it, man, and after and they marry the chick and move in the chick, take care of the chick, man. At the end of the day, you know, they're looking sad, and then they get to be like around 40. Then they start switching up. I need a dude to take care of me.
Yeah, and that's when the shit ain't fun no more. It's
Mm-hmm.
not cute no more.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know another one who was in the military,
Mm-hmm.
and she actually had like the transgender surgery and shit. I
Really?
know some, yeah, and you know, I seen her female. Now, to be honest with y'all, like no freaky, right? But I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna tell the truth, no freaky. But homegirl who went through the surgery before she had all that shit done to her, she
Mm-hmm.
was a cute girl. She
Mm-hmm.
really was. She was a cute girl. And then, you know, she went through them changes and now it's like, good, what the fuck? But the thing is, her girlfriend was, I'm talking about super overweight. And I don't mean like any, like, you know how niggas would call thing, you can't call this thick.
Mm-hmm.
This motherfucker was, you know, this motherfucker was looking like a batter splat. You
Mm-hmm.
know, that was the shape of that motherfucker. Had the circumference, you know, had the circumference of the fucking atlas that was in Tony Montana's house. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
just bad.
You
You
know
feel
why?
me?
You know why it is, Grinch? It's
No,
because them lipstick lesbians, man, done gone through them. Man, they took her money and shit, like man, left her brokenhearted, man. So she looking for something, a woman that's safe.
right. You know what? I think, yeah, I think that is the case. You know, I would have put that actually in the I debated putting that in the book actually. But I didn't feel like getting motherfucking, you know what I'm saying, pimp
Okay.
slapped by the LGBTQIs. You feel me? I didn't feel like that. So
Too much truth, huh?
yeah, too, that would have been too much. I gave enough for everybody who's you know, heterosexual to be able to move accordingly. So
Okay.
hey, that's good enough for me.
Yeah. Because as soon as you said that, I said, "Hey, I done had." Because at my age, man, when I got to be about 40, man, I had a bunch of them, man, a bunch of those ex studs, come at me like, how come we can't hook up? I said, wait a minute, what? I said, you've been gay all your life, but all of a sudden you want to hook up with me, and
Yeah,
they
it be
tell you
like
that
that.
what you gonna get. Hey, whatever you need, your digs up, you Lizzie. Well, how many times? And they mean it. How
Yeah,
many times
yeah.
you want it? Just hey, just take care of me, just like a regular woman. That's what they want. I'm tired of taking care of people. I want to be taken care of instead.
Yeah, I
Now,
was on what you call it? I was in Bahrain in a movie theater and I
mm,
had this homegirl and she was
mm,
a stud.
mm,
And while we was sitting in that bitch watching the movie, she leaned over and said, "How would you feel if I asked you to suck my titties?" I already knew what it was
mm,
when she said that shit. And I mean, but that's how they do. Like they
mm.
make their moves and shit. But yo, they all be fucking. They still be fucking. They use dildos when they fuck. What makes
Yeah.
you think they're not gonna get a fucking girthy warm dick? You feel me? Like I'm just saying, like
Yeah.
this is BGS for women though, man. So
Yeah,
what's your
yeah, 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 oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
this is too raw. Like,
Oh, I know. Yeah, let's do raw.
but y'all knew what it was when y'all brought this scragologist up here. You know what I'm saying? So what's the next question? Y'all got some more shit, man?
Yeah, yeah, but it's some of them need to know because they're gonna run into it, man. They're gonna run into that, and they're gonna run into that story because
Hell yeah.
yeah, they're gonna wonder what so I know they're gonna walk down the street. Say, how come this chick is taking care of? I know she can't have no kids. How come she with this girl that's slightly overweight and she got 3 kids
Yeah,
and she
for
and she
real.
she coming basically she's the one pulling out the wallet.
She wants stability, you know, because You know, they want something that's guaranteed, and they feel like that's guaranteed when that need is there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They feel that way, and then on top of like the physical not being like the prime time shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they feel more secure in that shit. You'd be surprised how insecure a lot of those studs are.
Oh yeah. I know. Especially when it comes down to love. All right,
Yeah.
lady. Anything else from the chat, Char? Any more questions?
Nothing else from the chat. I have nothing.
'Cause they're going in though. They're going in. There are no questions. They going in.
Mhm.
Somebody said, Tony, you nasty. Give her that girth certificate. you, you've been in here too long. See, you're gonna lose your 92 rank. You keep that up, young lady.
She said I need a girth certificate.
Oh
Who
gosh.
does more damage, the married strag or the revolutionary strag?
It depends on what we talk. It depends on the level. Like, look, if a revolutionary strag gets like notoriety,
Mm-hmm.
then in a way where you can impact the culture or get the minds or hearts and minds of the people,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to do more damage, like because you're affecting more people, and that's affecting more families and more children. But the married ratchet, if we're talking about who does the most damage to men,
Mm-hmm.
that one does the most damage because not only is she going to tax you just like how all the rest will,
Mm-hmm.
but now she's also got the, you know what I'm saying, got the legal thumb up your ass for alimony, you know what I'm saying, for child support, uh, for the fact that your families probably know each other. You're basically ripping apart, the dysfunction will rip a family apart. And when you rip families apart, there's more effects than just like the alimony and the child support. There's relationships built, there's trust that's broken. There's usually people who get screwed over in the process, like more than just, you know, uh the husband or the, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it just depends on
Yeah.
how you look at it.
Yeah, if you marry a ratchet and she turns into a strag, you can never leave because
Right.
she's gonna try to break up every relationship that you ever try to get into because she don't want that money divided.
Right. You have no idea how many niggas I know who stay with their women because they already know what time it is.
Mm-hmm. She won't let him leave.
All right.
She won't let him
Who
leave. So
so who's the worst type of strag to y'all?
it depends on the class. You know what depends on the class because the revolutionary strag she actually fucks up the 92 octane dudes because she's attractive to them.
Right, because she's so-called intellectual.
She's intellectual, yeah. And I heard a lot of 92 octane dudes, man, talk about the revolutionary strag.
I can't decide between the educated one and the spiritual one because they're both always trying to like just throw stuff that they hear up in your face,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
and like none of it really makes sense. So yeah.
No, I those are my two. I think those two are my least favorite, because they're a lot less fun,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest. The other ones you could have fun with. You could have a good banter back and forth with the revolutionary strike. With the baby mama, she know how to throw that thing back usually. You know what I'm saying? Uh all the rest of them, you know what I'm saying? They come with a little bit more fun. Even the married one, look, it's that element of danger that's even more fun. But the educated one, like, yo, I can't fucking, like, yo, I don't give a fuck. Like, I can't, like, the back and forth is more on some shit where let me tell you some shit I know that you don't, rather than just vibing. Because look, I don't want y'all to get it twisted. Ratchets are a lot of fucking fun if you know how to fuck with them right. You know what I'm saying? I'm for real. Ratchets are hella fun. Like, just a bitch, you be like, bitch, get in the car. Okay. You go off and have
Yeah.
fucking fun. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, you go to the beach. Look, because if they're impressed by you,
Yeah.
or they see the possibility or of opportunity,
Of
then
having.
they're going to entertain it, and you can do whatever the fuck, you can have a lot of fun, and they're going to be all the way with it because it might not be you. It might be some shit where she doing the most because she trying to get the most out of you. But if you're a smart man, you'll be able to be like, okay, I can fuck with you in this way, and this is how we could do this. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And don't make the shit long term. Don't
Mm-hmm.
make the shit anything serious. Don't
Mm-hmm.
tell your business. And if you got a little charisma and a little bit of spontaneous, man, that should be fun to the motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. They look. That's the number one. That's like a lot of the educated ratchets there in college, man. Actually date the hood dude and the drug dealers because most of the dudes in college are broke and they can't have no fun. And the strag loves to have fun. If you can entertain her, she'll roll with you anywhere.
Exactly, because that's first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we put first and foremost in the culture too. It's
Mm-hmm.
entertainment over education.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Which is why we push our kids to be, basketball players, football players, instead of scientists and doctors.
Mm-hmm. Yep, yep. You can. Let me ask you this, Grinch. Because
Mm.
this is something I've seen. Let me ask you, Grinch. This. Say the rat, especially the young rat. If she's always sleeping, okay, she's always napping until it's time to party.
Oh, you're asking me if she's always.
Yeah,
Oh, what
yeah.
does
Have you
that
noticed
mean?
that? If she's a ratchet, that if she gets bored real easily, if she's not doing something, she sleep.
Right. Yeah. The majority of the ratchets that I meet, like
Mm-hmm.
they they be on some shit where, yeah, like especially in Cali. Like honestly, this was a big in Cali, and I don't know if it was because I was dealing with more of them more frequently or what, but it just seemed like motherfuckers. It'd be 3 o'clock. Motherfuckers be, you know what I'm saying, just for getting up type
Yep,
shit.
yep, yep,
And
yep,
and it's
yep,
because they're fucking nocturnal. Like you
yep.
can't call no bitch in the morning time. You can't like
Nope.
look. You can't even do breakfast in Cali unless you're still up from the night before.
Yep. Yeah. That's funny if you notice. Yeah, that's one way to spot him. If you call it noontime and she's still in the bed, you guess what you have.
Yeah,
Okay,
for sure.
Well, so
I
what?
got a question.
Go
I
ahead.
have a question. Let's see. The first one,
Mhm.
could we rid the community of scrags? And if so, how long will it take?
No, the answer is no. There will always be strags, and look, the thing is, they serve a purpose in the community. Me and BGS are a more pragmatists. So we kind of look at things from a kind of different perspective. But like, it's like everything in the food chain or in the ecosystem. Like, I hate bees, but bees are necessary to pollinate and keep the earth luscious to create the plants that produce the oxygen that I need to breathe. You see what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with
Uh-huh.
the scrag. Like
Drags.
the scrag,
Mhm.
it, like
The
for example, if
strags
it
and homosexuals do serve a purpose.
yeah, they do because yes, they might be lower tier, but
Hmm.
at the same time there is a there are people who need that,
Hmm.
who are willing to deal with that because that's on their level. Just like,
Hmm.
prostitution will never end. There could Because there will always be guys who, just never work up the nerve or just, would rather just deal with that. There's always a customer for that type of shit. And for the strag, you know, as far as culturally, when we talk about passing down white supremacist ideology, I
Hmm.
don't think that shit will ever be rid in 80 West because it ties too deep and we're not connected to anything else but that. So we're just now getting around to the point where we're creating names to identify ourselves that are made by ourselves with ADOS. So culturally, no, the strag is not going nowhere if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? And just in the food chain,
Hmm.
like, look, if the strag disappeared, now you got to think about this. If there was no strags,
Hmm.
then what would be special about being a lady?
Good point.
You feel me? We need the yin. It's the yin and the yang. It's about balance. The problem is that we have too many. We have an overabundance of strags and not enough ladies, which is how we keep perpetuating this fuck shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
So
is it true strags have more fun?
Is it true strags have more fun? It depends on what you classify as fun, but if you ask me and the type of fun that I like to have, fuck
Mhm.
yeah.
I got you.
Alrighty then.
I got you. What's the second question, Char?
Is the strag and succubus the same?
Yeah, the succubus is just talking about a parasitic type woman who's going to seduce and suck dry her host.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just the common terminology. Shout out to Black Ram and all the IBMOR brothers and stuff who popularized that term. As far as I know.
Yeah, it was Black Ram. Yep. Succubus. And the strumpet.
Yeah, the strumpet. yo, they getting
All
wild
the
with
way
this
back
shit.
for that one.
Uh,
Strumpet. Yeah, I said he went all the way back for that one.
the strumpet is the good girl that kind of gets caught up into a pattern, right?
Hmm.
So she collects bodies just by happenstance, but the succubus intentionally collects bodies.
Yeah, the succubus is malicious.
And malicious. Yeah, she's there to actually uh, uh she's the malicious drag. Where she's there to actually get whatever gain she can from her host and then move on.
Yeah.
Damn.
But I don't want to discourage the ladies from being ladies. Like, look, fun is overrated. Fun
Mm-hmm.
costs a hell of a lot of money. Fun will destabilize your household. Fun will have you in the worst of circumstances. Having too much fun
Mm-hmm.
will put you in a position where you're not able to have fun at all, not even periodically. You know what I'm saying? Like, uh, when you see working girls
Mm-hmm.
and girls on the stroll, you know what I'm saying? You don't. The thing is, they could be freaks all they want, and that some people try to justify it like that because they jump in with a bubbly attitude.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't know. They probably just had a hit of something strong,
Mm-hmm.
or you don't know. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, fun is overrated. That's why being a lady is so important and so special, because if you are able to carry yourself in a manner where a man or a community will respect you, then you're able to have a way more security than a strag. And security is not something to be you know uh turn your nose up at. It's not something to take for granted, because a woman without security is a woman who is food herself, which is why the strag teaches the ratchet, don't ever depend on the man, don't ever need this. She pushes them into male fields, right? And even though that's not ladylike, in her mind, she's giving her child security, you know? So
Yep, yep. If you have a need that having fun turns you into an addiction, yeah, then you become food because
yeah.
somebody that knows how to play that game will actually play you, and you walk right into it.
Yeah, and old straggers will become food. Like I've seen. Look, I'll tell you this story. I know a girl who
Mm-hmm.
lived a strag lifestyle for a long time, and she's
Mm-hmm.
an older woman now. She's in her 50s,
Mm-hmm.
and her last baby, she got two sets of kids. Two
Mm-hmm.
of them are grown. One is about to be grown, and one of them's like 9 years old. She's in her 50s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, the last baby daddy died.
Mm.
So that has put her in a bind to where, because this is what old strags do. This is what strags do when they get up in age.
Mm.
They start leaning on their grown children to provide for them.
Mm.
And these children have children of their own. And, a lot of younger people are starting to at least from what I've seen, not really be on no I want to be a baby mama type shit.
Mm-hmm.
So they're actually, even if they're getting divorced, they're actually making families and having households, and you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of stress, to take care of a traditional home, or what could ever be the closest thing you're gonna get to a traditional home, and take care of your strag mother. So these women end up doing crazy things to move around and to live while at the same time still trying to raise a kid. And as for old girl in her case, she crapped out because her last baby daddy died, and he was the most consistent with the payments.
Yeah, me and Char know of a case by I'm not gonna call whose mother it actually is, but we know of the case where that uh, where that actually happened. I wouldn't call the person a strag because I don't know her history, but what you describes this particular person to a T.
Yeah, I've seen it 1,000 times, man. I'm from Straglano.
Char knows what I'm talking about. We ain't gonna call names.
You call it the broke bitch hustle?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
or,
The
yeah,
broke bitch
or broke bitch couch surfing.
Yeah, that's the worst though, because
Mm.
those girls who get ragdolled and thrown from house to house, usually I see girls in their 30s go through that.
Mm-hmm.
Like the girls in their 30s who got kids get ragdolled and kicked out,
Mm-hmm.
or girls with drug problems.
Yeah, they're worse. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
though that's much worse, because them bitches be shiesty. They didn't come home, the bitch be done lifted some shit and didn't even make it. She's still high, trying to drag some shit bigger than her body to the pawn shop.
mm-hmm.
That's a true story.
Man, try LA in the '80s, man, with the height of the crack epidemic.
Oh yeah, I know you seen some wild shit when
Man,
niggas was running around this bitch looking like the Walking Dead and shit.
ooh, man. Hey, Negro, okay, Negro, you basically, man. I don't know if you'd have made it out, man. He came to Cali, man, in the '80s
Yeah, y'all
with your
niggas crazy.
predilection, man.
Man, but look, I wish I would have been grown during the 80s. You know how I would have shot my shot? I would have tried it. I would have shot my shot.
Yeah, but
Whipping the wrist. I would have been getting
see,
it, nigga.
yeah, you would have, man. But see, you'd have got addicted because shit was too easy, man, and you wouldn't have got out in time.
I don't know, man. I've been pretty successful in my other endeavors, man, and I knew when to quit. Well, I didn't know when to quit. I kind of got removed from the situation, so
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
yeah, you know what I mean?
yeah. So basically, it was too easy, man. Wild
Yeah,
Wild West. You got the tail end of it.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Cali, what 2010?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you go, man. It was calm. It was calm by then, man. This
Yeah,
wave.
yeah. But for the beans though, see the thing is, yeah, for that type of shit. But
Mm-hmm,
for the beans though, and the
mm-hmm,
press, the press jerseys and shit, like
mm-hmm,
shit, nigga. Go hey, look, ask Cerulean about Golden Palace and Tijuana
mm-hmm.
and San Isidro, nigga. Like on
Remember, because you were down on Fig, right?
I mean, I've been over there,
Yeah,
but that's not where I hung out. Like I was in Nasty City.
yeah,
I spent most of my time in Dago, so
yeah,
Nasty City area, Chula
yeah.
Vista area, San Isidro area,
Oh yeah.
El Cajon, shit like that.
I mean, it was on like 9,000, man, in like the mid '80s to like the early '90s. It was on 9,000, man. It's like shit. It was like The Walking Dead, really.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Shit, if only I could have been grown, goddamn it.
that I think it was L.A. and D.C. was like that, man, where it was like on 9,000.
Yeah, man, shit. Y'all had it real bad. Atlanta went through its shit. I actually got to see what kind of like maybe something similar. I was the only where I went to high school at. My county was the only school like in the past
Mm.
50 something years to ever lose accreditation. The whole county in the entire United States.
Damn. Okay.
So all the families moved out because all the families moved out of all the apartments.
Mm.
They had to lower the rent to attract more renters. And so they're attracting everybody who pretty much don't have no kids to worry about and who's appealing to that $200, $300, what I'm saying, $350 two-bedroom joint.
Oh,
So
yeah.
so you got all the crackheads, all the junkies.
Mm.
This is Southside Atlanta in like this is Southside Atlanta, what, 2008?
Oh, right after the crash, huh?
Yeah, right after that joint.
Yeah.
Clay Code.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got to kind of I'm talking about Clayton County, Cisco. I'm
any,
from Grove.
any more questions, lady? Jump in. You guys always ask
Next,
questions. It's about a good
next,
game. Go ahead.
next question is, what about other ethnicities? Is there
Um,
a real big difference? Little difference?
um, the difference is the same difference as it is between normal people, and it's a cultural difference. So there's strags. Strags come in all different ethnicities. Like strags is not and that's a lot. Another mistake a lot of niggas make, or a lot of like for a lot of niggas, it's assumptions. Like here online, they'd be like, "Oh, the white bitch, I love her," But the thing is, the white bitch will do you just as dirty.
Oh
Like there's white strags, and usually the white strags, depending on what, it just depends on what type of caliber of nigga you are.
yeah.
If you're a lower caliber nigga, then more than likely, when you deal outside your race,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be dealing with a strag.
Yeah.
Because usually, look, if you're select, then you can pull select people from outside your racial group. And I'm not saying that determines whether or not whether or not they're going to be a strag or not. But to me, there's a better chance for them not to be, right. And I'm not saying use this as a measuring stick, because this is a terrible measuring stick. But the thing is, if they know beauty, like how beauty is valued in the Latino community with
Mm-hmm.
the Latinas, when you deal with them, you can find a gorgeous strag, right? But a
Mm-hmm.
lot of those women are kind of groomed. The culture is different.
Mm-hmm.
So even when you deal with the ratchets from over there, because the culture is so uh it's so strong and so prevalent, you
Patriarchal.
know
Yeah.
yeah, it's so patriarchal
Mm-hmm.
that they're not going to, if you find a baby mama, they're everybody treats them like they ain't shit, even
Mm-hmm.
if they look good. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of different, man. Like with black women, it's kind of, because the dysfunction amongst the black community is so heavy. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to tell the difference between somebody who has, because we're all touched by these drag tendencies, right? But it's hard. It's kind of hard to tell the difference because everybody looks the same. While in other countries, or other cultures, because it's patriarchal, there's a definite difference, because there's certain things that are shamed, and since we don't have shame, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying, with how we operate, the girl who's a baby mama is going to get the same respect as the girl who, what I'm saying, saved herself. So what I'm saying, it's cultural differences, but you'll know, like when you go to Tijuana, like it's like going to Tijuana, like if you see strags, they're
Mm-hmm.
going to be treated like, but this is Mexico, right? So
Yeah.
I go to another country, the strags are treated like strags,
Yeah. They are.
like in your face, treated like strags,
Mm-hmm.
like there's no way around it. Over
Yeah.
here, this is America, so
Yeah.
everybody, everybody's on this whole equality. Oh, everybody's the same, so it doesn't matter what you do. You're not judged by your deeds. Everybody gets a participation ribbon type shit.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what kind of adds to the confusion.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So, but yeah, there's strags and other ethnicities. You know what I'm saying? You just got to know. You got to become familiar with that culture to point them out.
Yeah. The women that kind of isolate the strags and other cultures. They don't
Is
deal.
that because they're
Go ahead.
sorry?
No, go ahead, Char.
Is that because their needs are different?
No, basically, they treat them like lower class women. If they do stuff that's outside what the women deem acceptable, uh, basically they're like outcasts, and the women won't deal with them. The women won't befriend them or deal with them, and don't let their men folk try to date them. At least publicly, they'll shame them.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, and that's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
That's why all this shit, it's so blended over here. That's why niggas, that's why one reason why this book was necessary,
Mm-hmm.
because motherfuckers can't tell the difference, because society is not drawing the line in the sand anymore.
No, no. The black community that's been they used to kind of you know
Yeah,
uh,
kind of.
they used to kind of like look down on a woman that had a baby out of wedlock, or she's fast, because when I was coming up, because I'm a little older, right? My mother used to warn me. I couldn't bring what we call a strag around my mother. She turned her nose up. You better get the fast ass girl out of my house. Don't
Yeah,
bring her
but,
back.
but
That
now
was
that
my
it's
father. That was
accepted.
my mother.
It's accepted now, though. That
Yep.
shit is. It's
Mhm.
welcome with open arms because the gynocracy has gotten to the point. And a whole bunch of factors have contributed to this feminism and whatnot, to
Mhm.
where look, when you bring a strag home, you're probably bringing her home to a strag.
BJ said, I can't till this day. Well, you got some old school parents. You got some old school parents.
So do you think Strags pay attention to the news or anything?
Uh, Depends on the strag. Like the educated strag might, the revolutionary strag might, but as far as like just your average, like, just nah, just your average ratchet,
Mhm.
nah, because they're too concerned because they look what they see on the news. When I
Mhm.
say they literally look at everything as, they place value on shit that they could get some out of the opportunity that is presented in it.
Mhm.
If they can't get nothing out of a news headline. The only thing they're worried about is if Trump scrolls. They see the marquee going across the screen like Trump just cut. Their benefits by another 25%. Okay, then they'll pay attention. Oh shit, this affects my right now. But
Hey, gotta have that cable. Got to
Mhm.
have that cable.
yeah, like they don't. Strags don't watch the news. Strags watch reruns of fucking Jerry Springer and shit,
Oh
and you
yeah,
know what I'm saying.
Oh
yeah,
man,
yeah. Loving hip hop.
Yeah,
Spring.
that's it. That's all they watch. They watch trendy shit. All Strags love trendy shit. I mean, women love trendy shit. Period. But Strags, they kind of define themselves by that shit.
So with the environment changing, I know you had touched on like there would be a rise in a certain profession, but do you think any of them would try to tighten up like at all? Like,
No, and I don't think they would simply because and if they did, it would be it it's just too drastic of a change to go from being a strag to trying to live in the confines of like a arrangement such as a traditional marriage or or monogamy. That's a big push, especially since you look at the strag and
Mhm.
she spent a lifetime,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying, getting her back blown out by, you know what I'm saying, having different balls clap on her buttocks and shit. Like this, that's a hard life to leave behind, believe it or not.
So can you turn a ratchet into a housewife?
you know I've had my nigga told me some shit about this, right?
Mhm.
Where he was like, "Yeah, you can turn a ratchet into a housewife if you that nigga."
Okay.
The thing is, I disagree with that because being a ratchet is more than an action. It's more than doing. Anybody can do some ratchet shit. If you do some ratchet shit, it doesn't make you a ratchet.
Mhm.
What makes you a ratchet is when you make a lifestyle out of doing ratchet shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you get with a woman and you try to put her into a housewife role and she's been operating like a ratchet her entire life,
Mhm.
I mean, you're setting yourself up for failure because you're going against her core values. Because that's what that really is. If somebody makes a lifestyle out of something, that's something that's at the core. There's something at her core that is perpetuating her dysfunction.
Mhm. Yeah. And basically the domesticated lifestyle is gonna be boring to them. You know.
Right, exactly. They can't never do it for too long. That's like that girl I told you who was, she had a baby in high school, then she got with the Marine nigga, had a baby with him, and now she dipped on that nigga. Like the
Mhm.
thing is, because he never understood like her ratchetivity,
Mhm.
because he never understood that, he never understood like why when he was being the greatest husband he could
Oh,
be, and
yeah.
he never understood he never understood her sexual nature.
Mhm.
And two, you know what I'm saying? He never understood like if you're gonna choose to deal with somebody like that, which I don't recommend for anybody, but if you're gonna do that shit, you gotta understand like you gotta be real about her nature because if not, you're gonna like, she gave this nigga a STD, you know what I'm saying? Like she didn't even know how to, really keep herself together to where she wasn't having, bacterial infections and UTIs, and she ended up catching the clap and shit and giving it to this nigga. Like, like the thing is, but what does that show you? It shows that, if he was gonna deal with that bitch, then you need to put some reins on that shit. And some people, it's kind of like dogs and animals, right? Like you can put a dog in a kennel, and that motherfucker stay there. But you can't put no motherfucking wild stallion in the kennel. You
Yeah.
gotta have you have to have a bigger boundary, a bigger fence, a bigger area for that motherfucker. If you want to have a horse. And so that's kind of what I'm saying. You need to have the right tools for the job and understand what the fuck you're dealing with. Don't try to pet a porcupine. You dig?
Yep. Yep.
Mhm.
Can't turn a wolf into a pet.
Exactly.
I am just amazed. Just so much information. Just amazed.
They're going in the chat. Must be the wine. Well, they going in.
Hey, I'm
Wow,
trying.
I don't know why you guys. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Charles.
I was going to say you guys have to be interested in this book.
Yeah.
Just imagine he hasn't even really given away all of the book, and just think of just some of the things he's saying.
Mhm.
This is just so interesting and amazing. You guys, you have to support. You just have to.
Yeah, but basically, somebody's actually compared it to Iceberg Slim's books that actually explained uh, the prostitution back in the day. This is basically, same thing about with the Ratchets, because he's accurate. Every time I look at, he's accurate, because like I said, I was a young man in the '80s during the crack era. Man, just about everything that he put in that book I've seen, shape, form, or fashion.
Yeah, man, it's
It's
real life, man.
up close and personal, man.
It's real
Just
life.
what he's.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, just from what he said, I've worked with some of these people.
Mhm.
I've seen some of these people
Mhm.
traveling in my neighborhood, and my
Mhm.
neighbors or whoever. You bump into these people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like,
No
I mean,
imagination.
you can spot them, man, because I don't even have to see them now. I read a headline. I said, I said, okay, I know what she's up to. I know
Oh
what she
yeah.
just did. And I said, her mama's probably not too far behind it either. And sure,
Yeah.
like that chick in Florida that was actually with that dude, with that other dude actually carjacking dudes, right? Basically getting them to actually come buy some weed and sell some weed to her, and knowing that she's underage, and we sell some weed and have some sex, right? She actually luring these dudes, and they would actually jack them for the weed and jack them for the car. And she had done that about 3, 4 times. And I know when her mama was trying to get her off, I said, okay, I know what her mama's like. Because the first thing she did was try to blame it on the guy.
Yep.
And the guy was like 2 years younger than she was. Well, he would have been doing all this, but she met a boy, and that's the reason she did all this shit. I said, okay, mama's a strag too.
Yeah. It ain't hard to tell. Like once you start dealing with this shit a couple times, like you'll be look. It don't take a genius to start catching the patterns. You just have to be in the mind. I think why a lot of dudes don't notice this type of shit is because they're too caught up in what their objective is, which is to fuck. You know what I mean? And so they miss a lot of the details. They miss a lot of the conversation because they're not really listening. They're not really truly listening.
No, because like I said, the ratchet distracting. You've heard this, Char. They can spin that story, and basically, by the time they finish, you have a tissue, they have a tissue. You want to give them a hug and buy them lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because they practice that story over and over so many times that by the time it gets to you, it's perfected.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, for real. And they to them, they're not even if they leave out details or exaggerate certain parts,
Mm-hmm.
to them, it becomes, you know, and I hate this term, their truth or my truth, because there is only the truth,
Mm,
right?
mm,
But it becomes their version of it, right? And to the point where they believe their own bullshit. But this is part of the rules. This is part of the makeup of the ratchet, because
mm,
she doesn't live in reality, because reality is too harsh. So
mm,
she stays around people who are going to validate her
mm,
delusion.
mm.
That's
Yep.
what it is with ratchet.
Unless you that nigga.
I mean, yeah, unless you that nigga, but even if you that nigga, like everything has a, you know
Mm,
what I'm saying? In my opinion, everything has an expiration date. Now, how you deal with that expiration date or how soon that shit comes up depends on a lot of things. It depends on chemistry, depends on mindset, it depends on goals. You
your
know,
camera,
the
your
expiration
camera's
date can
on,
come
Regina.
when you die.
There you go. All right. Jump
But
in,
that
Regina. Hey,
Got an hour left.
yeah, jump in,
Hop
Regina.
on in.
Oh no, good. Just saying good evening.
Was that your daughter on? Is your daughter on camera? Because she looked mighty young. Unless unless
Oh,
you looked that
please,
young, huh?
go ahead, BGS. You
Unless you
stop.
looked that young. You look like you in your 20s. If that's you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm just getting an opportunity to listen in. I'm actually visiting my niece in Houston.
Okay.
Her son's it's his first birthday. I was here for his birth, and now I'm here for his first birthday. So,
Oh,
just
and y'all tuning into this? Okay. All right.
yeah. When the ladies come back in, yeah, we're gonna listen in. Of course, of course, just listening in listen mode. But good
Oh,
evening.
okay. Good evening. You want to ask a question or you got a comment?
Um, Not at this time, actually.
What?
It's just interesting listening. No, honestly, it's interesting listening how our men speak of our women and and how our women are presenting themselves now. It's just interesting hearing that. And I know the conversation may have been had behind closed doors, but to
Mm,
hear it out now
mm,
and that I mean our women are exposing themselves a little bit more now. So it's
mm.
just interesting on how men view that. It's just interesting hearing that. Um, yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Basically, the reason that men view it that way is because a lot of men have scars from these kind of women that
Oh yeah,
that
and
have
I
that.
and
Go ahead.
yeah, I believe that. No, I'm sorry. I believe that you know your show actually demonstrates that.
Hmm.
I mean, it demonstrates the how the men have been hurt.
Hmm.
So yeah, I get it.
Hmm.
I get it.
Yeah, but well, and it's not just what as far as in is his Grinch's book. He can chime in on the ratchet the Strag doesn't just do damage to the men; she does damage to the whole family. And she will actually wreak havoc throughout the whole family. If she's not kind of tethered in,
Yeah.
she,
Wow.
she won't just do it to the man. She's gonna do it to everybody she comes in contact with. Like,
Everybody she comes in and that makes sense. I mean,
mm-hmm,
because we are the connectors of the family.
mm-hmm,
We are. I mean, our spirit throughout the household is what people vibe off. Soon as someone walks in the door, they vibe off of the woman of the house, that spirit. And if it's negative, if it's ratchet, if it's whatever, yeah,
yeah, because
yeah,
especially if the ratchet woman starts having kids and uh and and say the matriarch of the family, she's trying to she if she stops trying to save the daughter and she's trying to save the grandchildren, right? So and basically the ratchet woman, she knows that, so she's gonna actually use those children to actually extract resources from the family, like from mother, from father, from her brother or sister, because they're trying to keep these children afloat. So she can wreak havoc throughout the whole family. It's not just the men. The
so
men get
true.
so the men get some of it, but depending on how bad she is, um, basically the family gets the full brunt. because if she she gets ejected from, like, say she leaves her dude, and that dude doesn't have enough money, he runs out of money, she gotta, she gonna park herself on and her 3 kids at mama's house or her sister's house.
Wow.
And just because she's in mama's sister's house don't mean that dysfunction is gonna stop. And her too many mothers with good jobs, man, complaining about their wayward daughter and the wayward
Yeah.
daughter's kids, and we want her to stop having children.
Right. Yeah.
I know you've heard
And
that. Yeah.
oh, of course, and I'm a product of that.
Okay.
Just connecting with my biological family in 2014 to learn that as what we know of, there are 11 of us that we know of.
Okay.
And each of us were giving to somebody. I think, we know that I was the only legal adoption that happened.
Okay.
I was the only legal. Everybody else was given to somebody or placed somewhere or given to their father or given to their father's family, and so I was a product of that. But I guess the blessing is I didn't get a chance to experience the full effect, because now connecting with them, learning about the part that there were times where she was dropping them off different places and nobody knew where everybody was. It was she was doing her own thing. So yeah, a product of that.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's yeah.
You never know where Jesse Lee's babies are. That's what they say. You never knew. You never knew where Jesse Lee's babies were. You never knew. And it's sad. It's sad, but we all say that, and as far as identifying fathers, that has come to an end, as far as trying to connect who's who, unless they truly identify that say, you know what, yes, I was with Jesse Lee at that time. Yes, I was, but yeah, Jesse Lee's babies. Yeah.
Yeah. They can wreak havoc through a family.
It really can. And then to see it trickle down to, through the family. Now, okay, so, and then you see the extreme opposite of it, and then you see the extreme exact same thing of it from different families. You see where some of the family members have said, I'm keeping my family together no matter what. I don't care what that man does. I don't care what, there are those individuals, and then there are those who are dropping them off as well. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Jump in, Grant. Go ahead, Char.
I have a question from Tareen. He says, I cut it off. Is there a level of strags that have not been tapped into? Is the strag ever growing, or does it have a glass ceiling?
Well, look, man. Let's not give the ratchet too much motherfucking credit here. The bitch doesn't grow, she doesn't evolve. That's what she doesn't adapt. That's one of her characteristics. So there's only 2 forms. The form that still has the option to be something else, and then the other form that doesn't. So no, there is the ratchet is never gonna be, look, the strag is never going to be nothing but a strag. If a ratchet stay a ratchet too long, they turn into a strag. Think of this shit like Pokemon, right? Where you got the little motherfuckers and they start off as these little, little cute little things, but they're destructive than the motherfucker, right? They shoot little seeds off their backs and breathe fire and shoot water from fucking guns out of turtle shells and shit. But when they get older, you know what I'm saying? Then they, blood stories and all that shit, and you feel me? Like that. So that's what I'm saying. Like it is what it is, man. It's only 2 levels to this shit. It's ratchet, and then it's strag. You feel me?
Somebody put in strag limits.
Yeah, what's the strag limit? Look, I wish they had a strag limit sign at the club, like the strag limit, like how they have like the pound occupancy on like elevators and shit. Well, the strag limit is
capacity 10, huh?
well, the strag limit is 10 here. Shit. But nah, it's just Ratchet and Strag. There's no. He's stupid. He's saying it like it's some ultimate evil out there and shit. Like, nah, man, the Strag is the ultimate evil, man. It's what perpetuates the dysfunction in our community, dog.
Yeah. Regina, do you see a lot of this in your work?
Oh, you said what? You broke up.
Did she see a lot of this stuff in your work? Because she works in the public field.
Yes, of course. You see more of that than you see anything else. And you see the habits that they formed, and it most oftentimes it's the negative that they've seen. So, back to back to back to back, with moving from one house to another, going from one place to another. Yes, you see that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You ever seen the meat curtains on the Strag? Good Lord.
The what?
The meat curtains on the Strag.
I'm sorry. It borged out on me. I'm sorry. Repeat that again.
You ever seen the meat curtains on a Strag?
Oh, no, she ain't down that far, man. That's a new thing, meat curtain.
Waffle.
I had to do with one cool thing. I'm the Grinch.
Medical exams, do you, Regina?
I'm sorry.
You don't do medical exams, do you?
Oh no, I only got an opportunity to sit in when I did my 6 weeks training. The 7-week training, I'm sorry, with CDC. We had to sit in on a chlamydia screening for men and women. For each of them, each disease, we had to sit in on men and women screening. So chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, and we had to sit in on a screening for each of those. So we saw the men getting the Q-tip. We saw at that time. And then we saw the women getting the PAP. Yes, I did see that, but not actually doing it.
Well, she might have seen the meat curtains then. That's only guys. Yeah. There's nothing to. Well, you got two types of meat curtains for Strags.
Yeah, look in the group home, you can't help but see some meat curtains, man.
Yeah, too long, non-existent. One of the two.
So y'all are gonna have to explain meat curtains to me. Come on, okay. Help us sister out now.
The proper term would be vulva.
You ever seen a bologna or ham sub sandwich?
Yeah. And with the extra meat hanging off. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
That motherfucker look like it got a sound effect like a wet fart. You look at that motherfucker wink at you like.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So oh my goodness. So here's what we were taught to look for. So we were just, oh my goodness. Okay, so we were taught to look for, we were just taught that we just sat in on the part where they were just using the Q-tip and use it, to get the bacteria. We weren't really concerned with what the physical features were of that individual. Now I had a client to tell me one time, and it was sad, but it was really unfortunate. He came in with syphilis, and he said, and so I had to interview him for his list of sex partners, and he said that I said, okay, well, when you had sex with this individual, do you remember seeing a sore? He said, yeah, I remember seeing a sore, but Miss Regina, her pearl tongue was so long. And I'm like, what? He said, I went down on it anyway. He did it anyway.
Oh my goodness. He did.
So because of the pearl tongue.
So unusual. Okay. He couldn't
resist. Yes. He couldn't resist, and he went down on her anyway. So that's about the extent of it. Yeah, that's where I had to draw. I mean, well, I didn't have to draw the line, but that was the extent of my exposure. I'll put it that way. And y'all, I apologize. I can't see the chat this evening. So hello to everybody. I don't know who's in the chat and what's being said. If there are any questions, I apologize.
They're going in. They're not really asking
I
questions.
bet.
They're just laughing.
They talking about somebody say Arby's. So they going in. So
Oh my goodness. I can only imagine. I can only imagine.
Playback's hilarious.
Y'all behave in the chat. Y'all behave.
Save us, Char Willie.
Please save your friend. If you love me, save me.
I'm glad I'm not eating right now. Yeah, bro, he don't want to do it. I know what he's talking about. He said meat curtain. I said, yeah, I know what he's talking about.
Oh my gosh, I had never heard it called that.
Yeah, but there's one way to tell. I'm not gonna say it here, but there's one way to tell. We have to do this after hours. You know that they've been around because there's a rip. I'm not gonna say where it is. You can tell there's been a rip.
Yeah.
Really?
That's because niggas been in that motherfucker beating that shit like the first Rocky in the ice locker.
It never goes back. It goes from circular to oval because there's been a rip. You can tell it's been around.
Wow. Okay, so here's the thing. Now, I know that there are a lot of women now lately getting that cut off now. I've been looking at a lot of sites that do the different tummy tuck restoration mommy, and now they're actually doing it. They call it, I think it's labiaplasty.
Yeah.
Where they're actually cutting the lips. And I know sometimes it's due to pain during sex, but some of them said that they've had it since they were young. It wasn't due to extra sex. It was just due to since they were young. It was just that extra meat there for them. Yeah, and most of them are doing it when they gain a lot of weight and then lose a lot of weight. There's those individuals as well.
Yeah, but it's one surefire way to actually tell if they've been around. And you can tell. I mean, as soon as you look at you've been around. You're not as I only had 4 guys.
Yeah, fuck you mean?
That's not what your coochie says.
It's not 4 guys if you could put a fork lift in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck out of here, man.
You can
but what y'all got? What y'all got? Other joints? Regina or Shar or who's it on? Cats or it's I think Nicole's still up here and Black Pill. I think that's Black Pill, huh?
Yeah, that's Black Pill.
Yeah, fresh out.
Got?
Got a song.
Yeah, they're too busy going in. Said do the sound effect again, Grinch.
I might do it before I leave, but look, it's not gonna be as funny as the second time, man. Y'all just gotta just kick it with me, man. Just enjoy the flavor when I kick it, man.
And somebody said where Grinch is missing his call and doing them stand up. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Questions from the chat. Instead of y'all going in, y'all just been having too good a time in here, man. You got them crying in here, Grinch.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, man, this is a interesting topic, and you know the way I put it in the book is entertaining and informative. You know, it's entertaining and educational. So it's nigga friendly for sure. You know what I'm saying? It's not boring. It's on some shit where you could read this joint and read it again if you wanted to, because it's funny. You feel me? It's going to be some shit in there you're going to show somebody else. Trust me. I've had too many people send me emails and phone calls and, come on, be in my chat rooms during my lives and tell me that, like, they love the book. Torian, read it in one day or read it in one sitting. He was that into it.
Yeah, because you start recognizing the traits, man. You can't help but recognize the trait.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, somebody has to do strags come out at night.
You know what? Yes, they do, but depending on your area, There's a lot. If you guys are familiar with the fucking movie Blade, right? There's a lot of day walkers now. there's, a, there's a lot of day walkers where they can stand in the sunlight. Look, they got administrative jobs. You know, they go to work. You know, they do their thing. You know what I'm saying? And look, they let the fangs. You know, they let the fangs hang all day. You know, they for real. And, yeah, and these motherfuckers let the cape drape all day. So look, hey, telling you, it's a crazy world, man. The night is day, the day is night. And these bitches, you feel me? They got the biggest appetite out here, nigga. So look, stay safe, nigga.
Shadra says, how can you identify the simp?
Okay, how did I identify the simp? The simp is amongst your. I'll do different levels. So amongst your peoples, right? How you know your homeboy is a simp is anytime you be like, let's go do some shit. This nigga be like, is it gonna be hoes there? That nigga's a simp for sure. He's a simp, and even though he might not be the worst degree of simp, he's still a simp. How you also identify a simp? Say you're at the club or you're at a social function. The simp is always going out of his way for motherfuckers he's just met. You feel me? And he's the nigga who buys all the drinks. He's the nigga who gives everybody his non-sexual attention and validation. So he's the one who's always on the phone with his girlfriend. He's the one who's always being the shoulder that motherfuckers cry on. But if you really want to see the markings of a simp, the easiest way to tell is with his interactions with women, right? And specifically with his main woman, so his girlfriend or the one he sees the most. Look at the dynamic between their relationship. It's not hard to tell who's following who. Courting and relationships is kind of like a dance, and if he's standing on her toes and she's doing the movements like she's, Papa Berenstein Bear and shit, then he's definitely a fucking simp. You know what I'm saying? So, and a simp just thinks different. He moves different. Like, look, the majority of people out here are simps. So if you're a real red pill dude and you see a simp, you're going to automatically know because you don't live like that. You don't move like that. Your priorities are going to be different. The things that are important to you are you might have some overlapping things because we're all human, but they're going to, your priorities are going to be different. Your goals are going to be different. And basically the outcome of your life is going to be, and honestly, another way to tell is the respect that one gets. Like today, we're in the red. The pet Pookie got showed today. How much people really respected him, and it would, it would to his dismay. He found out that he wasn't that high ranking. But that's usually simps. A lot of simps aren't very high ranking. You know what I'm saying? And the simps who are select, you know what I'm saying? It's not hard to tell because they'll let a woman just run over them.
Yep. Said Advanced Zero says, what lets a drag think she can step to an on-point dude?
Because there are so many. The thing is, the strag, her mindset is one of opportunity. She's not, and she's a very shallow creature. She's very superficial. She, what I'm saying? She's hiding from the world essentially. But what makes her think she can step to an on-point dude is the fact that one, the overwhelming majority of people out here, of men out here, are simps. And so the thing is, she's used to coming up to average-looking dudes, trash-looking dudes, and good-looking dudes.
Oh, okay.
All the same way. Because look, a simp doesn't understand his own self-worth. So he'll go along with whoever program come along. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you can that's how you can tell. But what was the second? You said there was a second part of that question.
No, that's
just
there's Q Wilson's got a question. It says it was saying what makes a strag think she actually step to a dude, but there's another question. This is Q Wilson. Yeah, asking for a friend Q for yourself. How can you rescue your homeboy from a strag?
You can't.
Sorry, Q.
Yeah, you can't. Like, look, it's a choice, just like the red pill. Think about this. We talk about this shit all the time. Red pill 101, right? We got the Matrix analogy. Morpheus gives Neo the choice between the red pill and the blue pill, and he just has to make that choice. Now, if he chooses the blue pill, a lot of people choose the blue pill to remain comfortable, to remain, or because they've already dedicated so much to that type of lifestyle, so they choose to live in their own illusion, even if it's not as deep of a hallucination as the strag. It's still something that they're using to seek comfort. You can't make anybody take the red pill, and if you take the red pill, you got to take all of it, which means you got to understand male nature, female nature, understand the hierarchy, understand where you're placed in it, and understand how to maneuver like a boss and let the scent pay the cost. You did.
You'll like this one.
All right.
Shazra says, "Can you tell a simp by his hairline, like Cerulean does with the eye test?"
Whoa! Who asked
That's
that
crazy.
question? Oh my god! That nigga stupid for the my test. I ain't gonna lie. That's like one of the funniest jokes he ever told. When he was like, "You see, when you come back, when it comes into focus."
That is hilarious.
But you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and say yes. God damn it. Hell yeah. For real, man.
It sounds like you described a simp as he's just pandering for the woman, and because he gets that attention from the woman, he's happy. He's good.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what came to mind when you were just describing what happened in the last 40. You said 24 hours, 48.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that sounds like.
But it comes from that is a part of it. It's a big part of it. But to understand these characters, you have to understand what motivates them. If you want to understand a person for real, find out what their motivations are, right? So when you look at the simp, it's his low, like that's a side effect of the core cause. The pandering, yeah, that's how you can tell that's the action.
Mm-hmm.
But the actual thing, the internal problem is the low sense of self-worth. That is what that comes from. And so the reason why they put why they put the pussy on the pedestal, why they pander, why they, because pandering is basically trying to appeal, by any means, and giving your validation, and so it comes from a low sense of self-worth, and that also comes from a lack of knowledge of self.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Another questions. Black Pill Paradise says, "What can men do to quickly recognize a strag when they're dating?"
Well, you can do it in one conversation, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And how the conversation should go is, tell me about yourself. Exactly, and then you will find out.
My cable bill is late, and my baby needs some Pampers, and I just don't know what to do with myself.
No, they'll give you a story before that.
Pay attention to the story first. Pay attention to the order they tell you the story in. Like what they tell. What is the first thing out of them? Pay attention to the order, because a lot of times the order that a motherfucker will tell you some shit in is the order of importance or the order of priority. So pay attention to the order that a motherfucker say. Think about, what's the first thing out this motherfucker mouth. And this is why we have all these conversations about women leading with their education or this and that and the other. You get to tell who's who. Like, and you can even from that conversation, like you could there's this place in San Diego I used to frequent. It used to be like my cool little date spot when I first meet a girl. It's called Delectable Desserts, right? And they serve cake and coffee, right? All day, every day. You know what I'm saying? So I go in that joint, and I ask that one question. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, so tell me about yourself. And then the motherfucker will go in because women love to talk about themselves. So they'll tell you the whole fucking kid and caboodle. Nigga, all you have to do is sit there and just, nod your head, listen attentively, and really listen attentively. Like, hear what the fuck she's saying, hear the order she's telling you, hear the little, if she got a sob story, here she leads with her goals, or she leads with her accomplishments, or she leads with what she likes to do, or she leads with what she's looking for. Those things will tell, depending on what she chooses, or the order she chooses, it'll tell you exactly what the fuck her intentions are, and if she's good, she's a good set for you right then, or if she's at least if she's a strag or not. Because they can't help it. The strag is shallow. The strag ain't got enough intelligence to pretend to not be herself. You feel me? That's why she uses all that makeup, because she doesn't understand. Even if you wear a fucking blonde wig, you still ain't Marilyn Monroe, bitch. She still don't. But you see, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not hard to tell. Just let them tell you. You feel me? It ain't nothing. It ain't no test. You feel me? Just let them tell you. You know what I'm saying?
Tony says yes. They lowball you and ask for $20.
Oh my god,
that's worse than the strag.
I can actually see you making money going out or just listening in on the conversation, and be able to tell the man, end the date right here, or keep going. I could actually see you doing that.
I've actually did something like that before, but
yeah,
like I didn't do it. Like it was on some shit where I would be able to text, you know what I'm saying? Or I'll do this shit like with my brother to this day. Like when he get females, you know what I'm saying? He don't really got a mouthpiece like that. He don't really know how to say, like, he just don't know how to, you know what I'm saying? He's missing a little bit of flavor, right? That I can kick. So I kick it for him. You know what I'm saying? You give me the thing. I got the text game on lock. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to, how to deal, he'll ask me like, okay, this motherfucker did this. And I be having the right answers. Like, and but he a little faith. The most recent occurrence of this happened where we met some girl at the Waffle House. And I already knew what type of female it was. So I was like, I'm finna tell her what the business is. And so he was like, okay, bet, because he trusts me. So I sent it. And so he sent the message and he seen how direct I was. And he was like, why the fuck you did? Because she texted me back and was like, oh, nah, I'm not fucking with it. And so he's like, man, why you had to come that hard, blah, blah, blah. Tell me why less than 72 hours later, she motherfucking hitting the phone back like, what's good with it? That's what I'm saying. Like, look, some people just need that, you know what I'm saying? Some people need that little cushion. Black people, we need a righteous reason for everything, you dig? We got, look, it got to be Jesus. It got to be Jesus.
And sometimes she's busy. She can't get to you. She can't get to you right now.
But for
right,
real.
y'all. Wow.
Yeah, sometimes she's busy. She can't. You think you're the only one in the loop? Come on now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But you know what? A lot of times, a lot of women, even though, and I'm not saying you got to be cruel, but if you're honest, that's the best policy for all y'all who's not for if you really want to avoid a strag, if you're a thinking black man, look, if you want to being a thinking black man, it can work in two ways. But for the niggas who are just starting off, the young niggas, a lot of the times it's strag repellent because they don't have the experience to know to lock you down.
Yep.
Yeah, I like honesty anyway, so.
Yeah, and plus, if you meet one that you like, if you meet a girl that you like, then start off. It's better to be honest with your intentions. Like if you're not a monogamous person, then don't be saying you my one and only. Tell the truth, man.
Yeah, if you don't want a relationship, I say I always say if this girl's relationship material, talk to her on the phone for a couple of weeks, get to know her first. So
right,
let her know, hey, you know what? I'm gonna take my time with you, baby. Give me your phone number. Let's talk first.
Yeah, it ain't gonna hurt you. You feel me? Like the thing is, look, chances are, in my experience with me, like, look, chances are if I get the number, then come on, man. Like, look, she looked at you. She don't know shit about you, but you got the number. Come the fuck on, man. Put it together.
Yeah.
Like you in there. You feel me? Just don't bullshit your way out the pussy. You feel me?
Yeah, just take your time. She's interested.
Yeah, but I don't really like getting into I don't really like getting into the dating. This feels like dating coach shit, and I'm definitely not that nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm
No,
definitely
you.
not
No
that
problem.
Hey, no, you are not.
nigga.
No,
No
you
problem.
are not. No, you are not that dude. Okay.
Yeah, I'm the fun guy. I like to have fun. I'm a lot of fun. But
Mm,
other than that,
mm,
nah.
no, no, he's not
I
the
gotta really
relationship
fuck with
guru.
you. It's been a long time since I found something like that where I'd be like, okay, we could go do this. Like it's been a long fucking time. So
Yeah, yeah, you're not the relationship guru. No,
yeah,
you are
yeah, no, I'm not too well at that. But like
not.
summertime fun, like
Uh,
yo, I'm good. I'm a good nigga for a good 6 weeks. I'm good. I'm good.
that, that long, huh?
Yeah, yeah. That yo, take 6 weeks. I'm a
6 weeks?
good nigga for six
Okay,
weeks.
yeah, that long. Okay,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
right. Hey, you surprised me.
Hey, look. If I like something, I like to stay. I'll stay
Oh,
till you know what I'm saying. If
oh,
I
oh,
like something, I'm
all
not
right.
the nigga who need everything. If I find something I like, I'm Gucci. You know what I'm saying? And we
Mm,
could do shit. You know what I'm saying? And wooty woo. But
mm.
everything got an expiration date, and I like to kind of leave before shit get sour. You feel me? Like before shit get, you know what I'm
What-
saying?
On a
Before
high note.
oh,
yeah,
what is
exactly. So
what
that way,
is-
like, I could always have a motherfucker in my phone. They be wondering, like, what the fuck and shit was good. But the thing is, they don't understand I'm doing it so we can maintain. You know what I'm saying?
There's an old Devin Ruffin song, man, called "Walk Away from Love." Y'all listen to that one, Grinch, and the one line is, "I'd rather, I'd rather leave her hanging on than her pushing me away."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's how you want to leave it because if you leave it like that, then they don't have shit bad to say about you. If you run into them in the future, it's
Mm.
always gonna be, hey, like they missed you type shit. And look, a nigga like to be missed and shit. Like
Well,
what can I
you know
say?
where that comes from, Grinch, is they didn't get closure from you.
Yeah, but the thing is, what's closure, but the end of something,
No, no,
you
no,
know?
no. It's well, for women, you think it's the end of something. For women, they don't like to live with a maybe. That's what they mean by closure. In
The,
other
the
words,
life is full of
no,
life is full of maybes, you know. Nothing, look, nothing's ever guaranteed and nothing's solid.
but see, that's a nigga talking, man. You ain't talking about like a woman.
Yeah, but
That's a,
women, they like closure.
to cover all the maybes. So if you leave her where there's some maybes, she'll still want to catch up with you and find out. She'll always be thinking, maybe what would happen if we did this, or maybe if I did that, what could have
Right.
happened. Whereas with closure means she done gone through all the maybes and what ifs. I can't deal with that motherfucker. I just can't. So basically, that's
I
closure.
mean,
It's closed off.
I guess I get it because
Yeah.
I got one maybe that I ain't gonna lie, that shit bugged the fuck out of me. But
Well, you
you
got
know,
one that kept reaching out, huh?
I got one where I was a dumbass, but
Okay.
Mm.
but it's not even like it's just like I wonder like type shit. Because
Yeah.
Yeah.
life goes on, man. You get new experiences, man. You have more fun. That's why I say I'd rather be the fun nigga. Man. It's so much more fun.
Yeah, well, guys don't normally deal with maybes like women. I mean, they do, every now and then, but with women, even if you're like a mediocre relationship, women just don't like maybes because they always think that what could have happened if he could have just been this way or that way. Maybe I could have made something. That's what they mean by closure.
Yeah, I feel you. I just, I guess like you said, I'm coming from the nigga perspective where to me, if I end some shit on a maybe, it's on
Yeah,
some shit where
yeah.
like the thing is you can imagine, at least you have the possibility in your mind, even if it's, never gonna happen of, oh, this probably could have been this way. And that's a positive feeling
Mm.
rather than you finding out like, yo, nigga, you ain't shit. Like, you feel me? Like,
Yeah, but that's the difference between than women and men. Because I used to wonder, so what do they mean by closure? So, oh, the maybes. All the maybes ain't wrapped up.
and I don't like that connection shit like that, to be honest. Like I like just being like, look, I'm a good friend. I'm a great friend. But all that other shit, fuck no.
All right.
But look, the thing is, I do know what it takes to. I do know the elements that it takes to, you know, have relationships. I have long-lasting relationships. You know what I'm saying? And I do know what it takes to make it work. You know what I'm saying? But I do also at the same time know what the majority of, especially black women, are expecting from those relationships. You know what I'm saying? And so that's also in the book. You know what I'm saying? Because this is talking about male female dynamics.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. Basically, yeah, it is. It's just another aspect of it. Yeah, because but actually, you go in depth. The Ratchet Doctor goes in depth on ratchets and drags, and like I said, all women have have one or two elements of it. But I think it would list like 30 aspects of the Jezebel.
Yeah. It was originally. I took a couple out though.
Okay.
You know, because you know, the like where I got it from. I got it from. I should know what the fuck book I fucking quoted, but I quoted the dude in there because you know I didn't read the entire thing. I read certain chapters, and then I read the overview. I read the chapters on the characteristics, and then I read the actual list. So when I was doing my research, yeah, I put in there, and I took out a couple of things that were kind of like hocus pocus, you know what I'm saying, like type of shit. So yeah, it didn't really apply. So you know, but yeah, you know, shit is a good read. You know, y'all should go ahead and get that book. I'm gonna drop the link for y'all right now.
Is
Oh
there
wait,
possible?
I can't even drop the link. Somebody else got to drop the link.
No. They've been dropping it throughout the whole talk. So they've been dropping it like every 5 minutes. The cats just dropped it.
All right, for sure. Bad, cool.
Yeah, we've been getting down in here. What I was going to ask? Financially, in your experiences, what is the most amount of money you've seen on both sides? A ratchet can't get it out. A ratchet got out of a man, and a man spent on a ratchet.
You talking about personally or just in general?
In general, what is something you've seen, like you heard or saw somebody?
Oh, you can go to 50 cents, baby mama.
Yeah, that's a come up right there. God damn it. That's a come up. But me personally, I seen a military dude. Like I used to work in basically human resources, so like I seen a guy get hit with alimony for like something ridiculous. It was like I think it was like 1,800, and he had 2 kids. This was in Cali, so he got hit for $1,800 in alimony, and he got hit. I think it was 1,800 or 18. I think it was 1,800 in child support, and then maybe like,
did he make it?
He had 2 kids. He got hit with 1,800 for child support, and then he got hit with I think it was like it was over a rack, maybe a little bit over a rack in alimony.
My goodness, Jesus!
So he was paying like damn near 3 G's a month, and he was doing this on an E6 salary.
Damn, he couldn't leave the barracks, huh?
No, he lived on the ship.
Wow, gotta wait it out.
Damn. He got hosed. Like I've seen, because you know we processed the job that I had. We used to process all the divorces, all the benefits, the pay, shit like that. So basically, it was like an accounting / human resources type job. So I've done processed shit. Who knows how many thousands of dollars? But if we're talking about just straight up, I've seen a dude get his whole house snatched up. A dude who was simping, he went on. This is another military dude. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause like I said, they're easy prey. They're looking for the people for the guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? The guaranteed basic allowance for housing. You know, if you can cover housing, food, and transportation, you know what I'm saying? You're good. You know, you're a gold mine for a ratchet. So you know what I'm saying? All that, you know, that bitch is gonna be, you know, happy as fuck, you know, traveling through the Negro Nebula to find your sucker ass. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, this bitch, you know, took this. She was a Filipino, and she wasn't even from here. Yeah, she wasn't even from here originally. And this nigga went on deployment, And I guess she had, I don't think she started the nationalization process, but she had a card or whatever. So the thing, yeah, so she came over here, and when he went, I think we went on Rim Pack. By the time we came back, his whole house was cleaned out, like everything. She had drained his bank account and everything. So and she was nowhere to be found.
Yeah, plenty. Well, she's in Cali, man. That's like Filipino heaven.
Oh yeah, for sure. She, you know what I'm saying, for sure.
She had relatives already on the ground coming to get her.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's how she was able to disappear like that.
Oh yeah, I know. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen.
Wow.
And basically, if you're gonna, the worst place to be married to a Filipino is California.
Yeah,
like
no, but
my brother, he married.
though.
I was always used to wonder why my brother never wanted to come back to Cali, right? Because he's in the army. He got married to a Filipina, and then I thought about it, actually working around him, right? I said, oh, I see why.
Yeah.
Yep.
Motherfuckers start speaking that Tagalog and get off on your ass.
All the women start coaching them.
Hell yeah. You need to do this and that.
The only thing more ratchet, the only thing as ratchet as a black woman is a Filipina.
Oh yeah, for sure. They're like the niggas of the Pacific.
They really are.
They're
They really are.
like the niggas of the Pacific for real.
They're the black people of the Pacific. They love chicken and they love the party.
They're so much fucking fun though. Good God, they are so much fun.
Hey man, them Filipino parties last for 3 fucking days, man.
Oh yeah, man.
You go to a house party with them, man. They'll bring out the blankets and pillows, man. You ain't going nowhere. Go on, get back and party some more.
Yeah. Wow. Only thing is, everybody, if you get a problem while you there, then like half the people gonna stand up because they all related. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like, all the cousins.
They'll warn you, man, before they actually do something, man, because they're gonna talk shit before they actually do something. So
yeah.
Away. But if you want to sit there and fight, no, they all gonna gang up on you.
Yeah, they cool people. Like honestly, they like to do that. I used to have this Filipino girl I used to go out with all the time. She was like the coolest little homie. And they like to do shit like go to like the little karaoke, you know, the little rooms where they bring all their friends and they got like a globe light in that motherfucker, and they still looking at the screen rapping. Like they love that shit. I'd be like, the fuck you niggas doing? What the fuck is this play rap pretend shit, nigga?
That's what they would do at home.
Yeah, that's what they do, and they like that little fucking dance game too. That little fucking Dance Revolution shit.
Well, they be ganging. They be Filipino women be gaming some white boys though, man. They don't game the brothers. Well, they like the brothers, but they be gaming them white boys. They be taking them white boys for all kind of money and shit, man.
Yeah, but they be getting railed out by us though.
Yeah, that's true.
For real, like shit, I knew this one woman, and she was the wife of a millionaire. And this was, because I lived in Hawaii for a few years, and she stayed in a place called Hawaii Kai, which is like the super uber rich ass area. And this bitch owned nail salons, hella nail salons, and look, her husband was always going on international business, like, cause they own shit in the Philippines too and shit, right? And man, that bitch was wide open, like, but the only thing I didn't like about that bitch is like every time I pull up in the 5 Series Beam, but because she like rolling in dough, she'd be like, oh, that's so cute, because she got like a fucking S-Class. You know what I mean? It's like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Trying to shit on a nigga. For real.
All right, you guys, it's 11:25. Any last questions for Grinch? And we're going to let him go to sleep because he's on the East Coast. Do you sleep, Grinch?
Yeah, occasionally I do, but man, I'm a nocturnal night creature, man. I'm the strag killer. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? So I'll be out here, man. I'll be awake, man. Sleep with one eye open, man. With my strag plasma blaster in my right hand, man. I'm out here. But look,
all right.
Y'all got
Take
anything
that as
else?
a no.
Yeah, I don't think we got anything else, man.
I'm not gonna try to force it.
Nah.
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming and sharing your book and your ideas and thoughts and experiences. It's been a wild ride, I tell you.
There's one question. Said, Grinch, are you a shellback?
Oh yeah, I am. I am a shellback.
Okay.
So, who's my Navy niggas in here? Who said that?
Hey, who
Who
was that?
said
It
that?
was so who said that?
I think that was Dark Man 60, I think it was. I think. Let me see. I just spoke
Yeah,
to him.
yeah, it was Darkman 60.
Oh,
Did you
well,
speak
salute.
back, Dark Man? Where you at? Let me see.
Yes, Darkman 60.
Get you.
Yeah, he said, "Are you a shellback?"
Yeah, yeah. I definitely ain't know what they call that joint. The before you do that shit. Uh, what that shit before you cross the line? What they call that shit? The poly. What they call that shit? What is he typing in the chat? Hold on, let me look.
He
He
said,
says
"Yes."
yes.
Okay, yeah. I'm a shellback, man. They give you a little certificate and the little map and all that shit. Yeah,
Okay.
it basically mean you just you know what I'm saying. You've been around this motherfucker pretty
Okay.
much. You know what I'm saying?
And said, "Was it Polywog?" Yeah.
Yeah, polywog. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, basically have you crossed the equator? Yeah, bro. I've been everywhere in this motherfucker, man. I've been all over the world.
Ruling in the house. All right.
What up? What up, civilian? But how y'all think I know Strag so well, man? And look, cause I done had this.
You read a
Look,
book.
my palate is so refined, man. It's so refined.
You go to the NCO club, you're gonna see plenty of strags, boy.
Yeah, man. Like I could take my finger and whip it around, and my index finger and whip it around the air. Taste the tip of my finger and tell you what type of strag coming around the corner, nigga. Oh my god.
We're going to get you some help.
I know. He needs it, boy. He's got a strag palate, Tony says.
I'm a, I'm a
Oh,
motherfucking god at this shit, man. But I appreciate y'all having me on, man. It's been real as usual, BGS. I appreciate all y'all on the panel, all the ladies, all the people in the chat, man. Go grab the Ratchet Rouge. Y'all know
yeah,
what it is.
yeah.
It's the motherfucking Grinch, the
And
fucking hen sipper gorilla and strag
yeah,
killer.
yeah. Now you'll be able to identify a lot of your girlfriends with it because they're in there somewhere.
Yo, they look. I like to have fun, man. They had the most fun, so it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, everyone on the panel. Thank you, everyone in the chat room, those that contributed to the channel.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate you guys. Also, the links are in the chat room for Grinch's book.
Mm-hmm.
After the video, I'll have it posted as well. Check it out. We're going to talk about it on another day.
Oh yeah.
All right, folks?
All right, folks. For the men, I will see you guys later on this evening or tomorrow night, depending on where your time zone is.
Correct.
Probably be talking about reparations tomorrow. So big
Thanks
topic.
again, everyone, and see you tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow. Well, I will, but see you all for the show next week. Same that time, same that place.
Yeah, and for letters to Sharp, please get your questions in. If you have a situation you have to deal with, even if it's some strag that you don't quite know how to deal with, write in. Okay.
I'll research.
Research. You got the strag doctor right here. She can consult.
Y'all already know, man. Y'all already know, man. Black Order World, man. Y'all know what it is.
All right, folks. We'll see y'all next week.
All right. Peace.
Thanks, Grinch.
All right, be easy.
Peace. Thanks.
Thank you, Grinch.